Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome back to another edition of Kop-Ish Call-In. This is our favorite show of the week where you guys get to actually call in live, have your say, and we get to chop it up. So the way that this works, guys, is that you guys get 2 minutes on a call. So you get 2 minutes to say what you want to say or ask your questions. And then you have to specify. Well, in fact, no, we'll change up because it's only us two. Me and Drifty have 1 minute each to answer your question. So that, just to confirm, you get 2 minutes to say your point, and then me and Drifty get 1 minute each to say what we've got to say, and then we move on to the next call. So, Drift, how you doing this evening?
Kind of gassed about the Euro starting, even though I'm not, if that makes sense. I've missed football, bro, if I'm being completely honest with you. I know we complain a lot about how many games there are and all that kind of stuff during the season because we're thinking about the players' well-being and that, innit? We're looking at it from a logical point of view. But from a human point of view, I would love there to be 5 games every day back to back. Like, if I'm being honest, and that little break we had, I was struggling with it, bro, if I'm being honest. You know, when you wake, especially on a weekend, when you wake up on the weekend and there's no football on the weekend, you're like, what do I do with myself then? You know what I mean? You find it because weekends is when I'm at home and I don't do anything, don't go anywhere, especially on a Sunday. So, yeah, I found myself like leaving the house and stuff on weekends and stuff. Weird, bro.
Speak for yourself, bro. Life is crazy at the moment for me. Just every day's a blur.
Yeah.
Every day's a blur, but still have to find a way of sneaking in football, MMA, boxing when I can. So these are my little havens. So it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. So let's get into a couple of things going on at the moment before we get into the Euros and the call-in. Florian Neus. So it looks as though we're very hot on him as a club. News broke today that we're in talks with him apparently, but we're not sure if anything's going to happen between now and the end of the Euros. First and foremost, Drift, 1, do you rate him? Do you think he'd fit at the club? And 2, do you think it's a risk speaking about it now? Because if he goes to the Euros, which he is going to be in the Euros, he plays well. I don't see Liverpool getting into a bidding war if it becomes a thing where other clubs start looking at him. So is it a bit of a weird one that this news is broke now?
Yeah, and I know he ain't I mean, the Euro thing, you're spot on. Every player's going to get 20 mil added to their valuation if they do well at the tournament, which you would have thought people would have learned by now is a stupid thing to do. Like, you really would have, like, all you got to do is look at like El Hadj for an example and go, yeah, don't get too caught up in the tournament. Don't get too caught up. Even players who are good, but were still overhyped, like James. Like, he's a good player, but how much did Real Madrid pay in the end? That's 75 mil back when that was even more than it is now because he had a good World Cup. Like, and did he even do anything for Real Madrid? No, not really. Like, in the 2 years he played for them before he got loaned here, there, and everywhere, did he do anything?
No, his first season was very good.
It wasn't 75 million good though.
No, but he was very
like paying 110 now.
Yeah, but he was very, very good his first season.
Yeah, fair enough.
He was very.
I mean, the way his career went, still kind of.
But he's at Everton now, so that says a lot, isn't it?
But there you go, bro. Without Carlo, he's vexed.
You gotta love Everton, man. You gotta love him.
You know, it's like he must be like so Orlan.
I could just see Carlos going, ciao.
Yeah. So I go on loan. I don't want to leave my parent club, so I go on loan. I go on loan here. I go on loan there, and then this brother come make me sign a permanent. You know, permanent. Not when the thing's done, I go home. Permanent. And then when I come permanent, the brother...
Carlo did him dirty still. Carlo did him very dirty. Himanshu, welcome to the show, Himanshu. Hakimi linked with Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea looking like they're going to potentially do a bit of a mad one this summer. So we'll see. Look, we've all this is not me shading the super chat. With all due respect, though, I'm kind of not going to focus on the other teams because I know we ain't got the spending power to match Chelsea, Man City, and Man United. We just haven't. So I've just got to hope we sign the right players for Liverpool and hope that Klopp can just do a magic one next season again because we ain't going to be in for these Sanchos and Haalands and Mbappes. We should be, but we won't be. It's just one of those things. So
But,
I think that I know, Drift, but look, the sooner we come to the realization, I think the better. It just
no,
is what it is.
you're spot on, bro. You're 100% spot on. It's not you I was going to question. It was just more thinking out loud because sometimes it's hard to keep it in your brain when the thought goes like, how is this, man? How are we going to watch it happen and just chill out? How can our owners have a Euro, which is second biggest spectacle in world football after the World Cup, right? Because it's all the European, and we're being honest, apart from about 3 or 4, the European countries normally dominate the World Cup anyway. So the Euros is the second biggest, and they're gonna watch that happen. Have all these like real good players come about from it, and people proving themselves and whatnot, and then they're gonna watch all the others go shopping. And then they're just gonna go, nah, we'll just send the kids to school in last year's garms and give the younger ones the hand-me-downs. Like, I cannot believe that we actually have owners that are like that every year and never change their way. Not once, bro.
It's because they don't have to change their way because most fans don't really want them to change. That's the problem. Like,
it's got to be more out than in at the moment. It's got to be.
Definitely not.
I'm struggling if that's real.
It's not though. It's not. It's just the way our fans are made up. I just think our fans are very loyal people. Sometimes that loyalty runs a bit too deep. So I just think, and we're as a fan base, we're not really a fan base that really like to kick off and act up that much. So this couldn't, put it this way, what FSG are doing at Liverpool couldn't happen at Man United, couldn't happen at Chelsea. Kind of happens at Arsenal, to be fair, but even they spend way more money than we do. So again, I don't know. Time will tell. But Nehus,
Man U ain't really going ham on Glazers anymore.
Not at the moment because they're going to be saying Sancho. It looks like.
Well, then look, they knew they couldn't get rid of them, but they're going to give them a player to shut them up.
No, but they've always been getting this. Man United have always been getting this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I wish that we at least they would shut us up. We're not happy with them, but you remember when I was saying about milking it? Like, I wish we kind of just got a little something to shut us up because they're not going anywhere. So all we can do is try and get the squad to be better because we can complain all we want. They're not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Look, an FSG thing, obviously, we've got a show planned on that, so we're not going to get too deep into it. But Nehus Drift, is he a player you'd be happy with if we signed him?
Yes and no. He ain't top of my priority list. Good player though. Could become a really good player. And we know what Klopp's like. I'd probably say I would be as happy to get him as Matt was to get Wijnaldum, where he knew he was good, but he wasn't really that bothered. And then what I would hope is he turned out how Wijnaldum did for Matt, where Matt was like, oh, what a player. And do you get what I mean? And that's how I hope he brings me in. So that's probably where I'd put him.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Neus is very good, press resistant as anything. Got very good footwork, got decent shot. He's very, this is what I want people to realize. He's very different from Wijnaldum.
Yeah,
that high intensity energy, that's not him as such. But I think we need to move away from this because if Genie goes, you have to get the exact same replacement. You don't have to. You can change your style of play. I think it's more about getting the right players and the bodies in. Klopp's shown since he's been here, he can work with pretty much every type of player. So even though the player who might come in to replace Wijnaldum isn't a dead replacement in terms of his attributes and style of play, doesn't mean it won't work out. So I think that's one thing we have to recognize. I am a bit 50-50 on it. I rate him. But I've got to ask myself, is this a signing we're making to win the championship or just to compete for top 4? And that's my question. Because from now until Klopp leaves, I personally think we should be making signings 8 out of 10 times. Our signing should be, we need this player to come in because we want this player to help us win the league, not just to solidify top four. Whereas before we could have bought players of that ilk. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be players like, I want us to sign another backup goalkeeper. I obviously know that's not going to be a world-class, top-class player. I'd be happy with someone like a Ruddy or someone to be third choice and fill up that homegrown quota. But you see, if we're buying someone for midfield after we've just lost Genie, or we're buying a striker, I want those to be top class. I want those to be the type of players that I look around at the other teams and think, yeah, my number 9 or my striker could start for Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Arsenal. Whereas some of the ones we're being linked with, I don't think they would. But again, we'll see. We'll see on that one.
Bob, you know what you're saying, it doesn't need to be a direct replacement. I get that. But even if we're going to change a little bit, because we know that Klopp kind of does like to revert to type, especially if something doesn't go well, would it not make a lot of sense, though, to buy a player that's similar to Genie if, in case Klopp needs to go back to type? Because right now, with Genie going, apart from Milner, who's obviously too old, there's no one else in the team now that can do what he gets Genie to do. And that might leave
Henderson
Klopp himself a little... yeah, I guess. But
the thing is, I get where you're coming from. I do get where you're coming from, but I think Klopp has been reverting to type because Ox and Kate haven't been available, or they've not been readily available, or not been in good form. So I think Klopp's had to revert to type. Whereas if you have a squad, I think if Klopp had a squad, we'd be fine. It's just that he knows, barring maybe 13, 14 players, the rest aren't of the level that he wants them to be. Which is why I think he's reverted to type.
And what, not because it kind of is a good thing for certain games, though. Sometimes I think he doesn't even do it because of that. Sometimes I think he's like, we'll beat the team this way, and then he'll revert back to that way because it normally gets the job done.
Yeah, but that's because that's what he's been coaching. It's what the players know, innit? I think if you bring in fresh faces, those fresh faces can help freshen up the tactics and the way you approach games. I do see where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think we need, and obviously you know how much I love Hendo, but because he does get a bit injury prone at certain points, and obviously with him getting on a little bit, like he's 31, so he's not old, but obviously like I feel like for what he used to get Genie to do, if you're not going to have Genie doing it, who was an absolute machine, maybe bring in a 23-year-old and start the process again of what you trained Genie to do 5 years ago, and then that's why I wanted Basuma, because I feel like he's perfect for being able to do what Genie did, but he's also very technical, and therefore he won't look awkward in the team. Do you get what I mean? He'll be able to still fit in with the passing and the technical kind of silky bit, but he can do that. Right, do you know what? I need you to just retain possession, get in their face and run this midfield for me, run your legs into the ground. Like, he kind of would be able to do that as well.
Yeah, I hear that. In theory, we have enough players to play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. It's just we have the bodies, we have the numbers. It's just we haven't got the quality and the availability. Like when you look at it and break it down, if we're going 4-2-3-1, you need 2 in the double pivot, right? You've got Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Milner, Ox, and Keita. Even if I take Ox out of that, you still got 5 players. 5 players for 2 positions effectively. Then for the number 10 position, you've got Firmino, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Ox as well. You've got 4 players. But again, it's the availability. The availability is the problem. So the reason why we're actually looking at having to get a Genie replacement is because the players we've got at the club haven't replaced Genie like they were meant to. Remember, Ox was meant to replace Genie in the starting 11, got injured. Kate was meant to replace Genie, hasn't kicked on. Is Curtis Jones now going to have to be the next one to try? It's like, you maybe need to go and get someone, maybe you don't. I mean, here's the thing, because we're on a limited budget, I'm of the notion of I would kind of sacrifice getting a centre midfielder if it meant we could get two top attacking players. I really would. And I know we shouldn't even have to do that, but I would do it. If someone said to me, you can go and get Jack Grealish and flipping, I don't know, let's say in a magical world, you could get Jack Grealish and Kylian Mbappe. I'd take not getting a centre back. Sorry, a centre midfielder, because we've got bodies there.
In that scenario, we'd be able to play Grealish in the middle if we really, really were.
Exactly. But we are where we are, and unfortunately, that can't happen. So time will tell, guys. Let us know in the comments what you think of Neus. Let's move on to the Euros very briefly, Drift. So Euros is starting tonight. 2 questions. Who wins it, and who do you think will be the player of the tournament? In fact, I'll add in another. Who's the player of the tournament that hasn't got much hype around them, but you think will have a good tournament or show themselves to be a top player?
What we don't already know is a top player,
Yeah.
or we know, but he just proves himself.
Yeah. Either one.
I've got a sneaky feeling Grealish might duppy up this tournament. I don't know.
Under waistcoat.
Yeah, but you get their man that it don't really matter how good or bad the manager is. They're so good they will still be able to show what they're worth. The team might not win, but they will be able to show what they're worth. I got a little feeling Grealish is going to naughty up the tournament.
We'll even play.
Pass up the tournament, but obviously we know who he already is. But I think Jota's going to do well at this tournament. Kante will shine at this tournament. But again, we already know who he is. I'm trying to think who's not that big of a name.
I think Andre Silva could potentially.
Yeah, maybe. That's true.
I tell you who my dark horse is. A Ukrainian player called Malinovsky. I think I've mentioned him a few times to you, innit?
Yeah.
That I'm looking at him. I know we won't get him. I know we're not going to even be linked to him. You see that player there? Play for Atalanta. There's something about that boy. He's got a wonder of a left foot.
Maybe we'll look at him with the other Atalanta guy we're linked with as well.
Christian Romero.
Yeah.
Atalanta have got some good players, man. We've even been linked with Zapata from Atalanta. I'll be honest, if he was younger, Luis Muriel. I've loved Luis Muriel for a long time as a player.
I remember when I liked him, just because he looked like R9 a little bit.
He's got similarities to R9. Again, not even to dig you out, King Sol. But you see, when I see Malinovsky is 29, he's too old. No, he's not. 29 is not. Where is this notion coming from that 29 years old is too old to play to Liverpool? Like, that's got to be conditioning. At 29, you've still got 4 or 5 years in you. Like,
I know, but the way we play.
He plays as a number 10. As a number 10, you're not meant to be that guy who's running around non-stop for a game. You're meant to pick your moments and do damage. As a number 10, we've seen it with David Silva. He played up until 34 at Man City. I'm not saying they're the same type of player, by the way, but let's not just look at his age and rule him out. Look at the quality of the man first, man. We can't be doing this. Like, Cavani just come to the Premiership. Ibrahimovic did it in the Premiership. All well past 29 years old. Thiago was 29 when we signed him. Were we saying Thiago's too old? Come on, man. We can't be doing that.
I know everyone looked at Cavani from what he did for Man U last year, and now they see where I'm coming from. And I was like, we should just get him to have that option. We would have won enough of those games we drew, in my opinion, if he'd have come off the bench with 20 minutes to go. I really feel like that.
I'm going to ask guys in the comments then. Would any of you say no to Kevin De Bruyne signing for Liverpool?
I knew
29 years old. No, yeah, I'll go another place. Lewandowski. Would anyone say, damn, we're signing Lewandowski, he's too old? I doubt it. If we didn't have Salah and Salah was doing what he was doing in another club and we got offered the chance to sign Salah, we're going to say no because he's 28, 29. Come on, people, man. Come on. It's not just about age. Look at the type of player, man. Look at the type of player. We can't just be ruling out, man.
People come into their own at that age. You know that when you truly find yourself around that 28, 29 age where you like, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, all right. I know who I am now. A lot of the youngest, they don't really know who they are when they're 22 and 23 and that. Like, it's quite rare.
I don't want us ruling out players just because of age, because that to me just sounds like conditioning. And I know, yes, people are going to say, yeah, I picked out some of the best players in the world. You're right, but I'm not, and I'm not even saying Malinovsky's world class. He's not. But who's to say he couldn't come to Liverpool and do an amazing job for us, being around better players? Like, look at Atalanta. Atalanta have been punching well above their weight. He's one of their main players. Like, he's Ukraine's go-to guy. Like, just not just rule him out because of his age, man. Let's look at the player first. Shout out to John Conway. Hi guys, my Kop-Ish hoodie came today. Shout out to John, always a legend. Yeah. On the topic of merch, people, obviously you can check out our merch store. Description in the YouTube description. The link, sorry. We also got the Basement Settings t-shirt. Today is the last day that you can purchase that t-shirt. Limited edition. So today is the last day, and then we'll be releasing a new limited edition t-shirt on Monday. We think you're going to love the new t-shirt, guys. We love it. It's looking very good. There's a couple options for it as well, so make sure you tune in and watch out for that dropping. So who do you reckon is going to win the Euros, Indrish?
Portugal.
Thought you might say that. I'm going to go France.
Not a
I'm
bad
going to go
shot.
France. I think it's going to be the same final, though. I think it's going to be Portugal-France final. However, I did do a show with Conroy. So Conroy Talks, as you all know, has got his YouTube channel. So check that out as well. And we did it. It was me, Conroy, Jersey Boy, and James Redmond. Germany got depth, you know.
I hear that.
The only thing they haven't got is that killer striker. But when you look at their depth, just put this into context. Midfield, they've got Goretzka, Kimmich, Kroos, Gundogan, Havertz, Muller, Gnabry, Sane.
Yeah, that's
the Germans. They got depth. The only thing they haven't got, you'd say, is a killer striker. Yeah. And I think with France bringing Benzema, said against Neus for Germany as well. Sorry.
Do you think they've gone a bit stale?
Nah.
Like in general.
Nah.
Because if you keep the same manager for too long, I think you go a bit stale.
I hear that. For people asking, I haven't said Werner for a reason. I don't think I should even have to explain that one. People are going.
What's Werner go and get top fucking goal scorer now?
Yeah, fair enough. If he does, fair enough. But so did Milan Baros a few years ago as well. No one was saying he was world class though, innit? So it is what it is. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Maybe they have gone a slightly stale. My worry is that Klopp goes Germany to become their manager sooner than his contract finishes. That is my worry. But I think Klopp will honor his contract. But if I'm the German FA or whoever, I'm thinking to myself, right, you see the moment that contract finishes, call up Jurgen, get him in.
You know what's weird though, bro? I remember when I watched an interview with Klopp about a year ago, and he actually said international football doesn't interest him one bit because he can't imagine not having the day-to-day feeling of being a manager. Like obviously he could change his mind and it's such an honor, but he actually was like, I think it would drive me crazy if I only got one little tiny portion where I was doing management every so often, and then the rest of the time I'm not. Like he was like, I'm too hands-on for international football. So I don't know, maybe, you know what I mean? Because remember, a lot of people thought Jose would do it. And maybe Jose feels the same. Maybe he's like, that day-to-day thing is what he likes. And he wouldn't be able to do that only once in a blue moon kind of.
Jose wouldn't be able to get a checkbook either, but that's a different topic.
No, but I mean, Portugal's always got non-ending talent though. So it wouldn't be like he would be that, like, you know. There's always talent, but you see that Portugal under 21 squad, you know how many dons are in that team, bro?
Yeah, I've seen Mourinho play with loads of talented players, and we've seen how that ends up. Someone gets thrown under the bus, then a physio gets thrown under the bus, then he gets thrown under the bus. Like it always happens. It's rinse and repeat with Jose Mourinho. So, guys, let us know in the comments who you think is going to win the Euros. So now, people, we are going to open up the phone lines. Remember, you guys get to call in. It's 2 minutes. You will get 2 minutes. So we'll be timing it to make sure that you adhere to those 2 minutes. And then me and Drifty will be getting a minute each to answer your questions or respond to your comments. So the lines are now open, people. So make sure you come and join us. And we're going to start off with our first caller. Stephen, welcome to the show, bro.
How's you, lads? How you doing?
Not too bad, bro. How you doing?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, it's all good. Looking forward to the Euros tonight. I must say, it's been a while, hasn't it, since the World Cup? The World Cup was like 3 years ago, and now since we were getting the competition back, you're getting that summer vibe back again. I know, I must say, I'm all the way. I don't know if you know, but I'm all the way for England, even though I'm an Irish fan. I kind of want to see Henderson do well. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like the sort of thing you want England to do well, but then they'll end up, feeling at the end of it that I'm kind of just tired of that. I just want to see England kind of do it in a way. I don't know what you feel before. It's just I want to ask you that before I get into the actual question.
I don't see England getting past the quarterfinals.
Right.
Neither do I. You know what? Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit at the moment with this England thing. Yeah, only because even though I am English and obviously I want them to do well in that regard, I'm really struggling with this booing the knee and the disrespect that's been going on. And it kind of makes me feel like a lot of the English fans, they don't actually get it. And then it almost makes me feel like
It's been like this for a while. It's not just recently.
No, I know, bro. But then what really annoys me on top of that, though, bro, is that they will cheer Sterling if he scores the winning goal in the semi-final of the thing that puts their country through to the next round. But then afterwards, they'll go and racially abuse him on thingy, or if he misses, then straight away they'll scapegoat him. Same for Sancho, same for all the black players. And I just feel like I don't know, like it really makes me feel indifferent. Kind of like how I feel living in the country and have done my whole life. But like that, what happened the other day, the booing during the friendly game, like it really boxed me in the face, and I was watching. I was just like,
it happened for both of the games, I reckon, because I remember like hearing the boos beforehand. It happened both of the games, and I was like, what? Like
there's a few reasons I can't support England. It's not just even that. It's, even as a Liverpool fan, like they'll be at games and England fans will be like doing chants about Liverpool during England matches and all that, and I'm like, not to mention the racism and all that stuff as well. As like, are we just gonna put that to a side for a tournament? Because I'll be honest, I can't. Like, if someone's racist to me at work, I can't then go and work with them on a project to be all handy and all cool with that person. It's like, no, we don't work together. Full stop. Like, either you leave or I leave. So, and it's
you're
kind
right.
of like
Yeah,
that with me.
The Scouser thing is terrible as well. Like, Scousers literally get treated like they're not English. Or they're not people almost, and like it's like, hold on a minute. So so we actually get double slapped. Like they don't like Liverpool fans for a reason that was actually all propaganda and bullshit, and you know it now. And what, you're still gonna act the way? And then the racist thing as well. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like Steve, I will want England to do well, but I struggle with it. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I struggle with it.
I get that, but you mentioned Drifter. You mentioned the whole Liverpool thing. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. I think everyone, they don't want to. I think some don't want to mention it because like I don't think not a lot of people don't have a problem with Liverpool. I think there's just some sort of history that they just can't stick us for some reason, and I do think that it's all of them against us. If you know what I mean.
100%.
And it's just like, do you know what? You find it a bit intimidating, but you just get on with it. But I think to myself, why not? Just bring it. If we were to show the consistency this season, we won another league title. We would show the rest of England, we're the best team here in the country by far. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen the way it went the other way. I went to Man City and I kind of went to Chelsea a wee bit. But like I totally get where you're coming from. You know what I mean? I don't see England doing well either under Gareth Southgate. But it's sort of the thing, like if you've got those attackers as well, you've got some really good attackers where you could attack. It's just because of Gareth Southgate. I've seen this before in 2018 where they played 5 at the back and they kind of go away with it in 2018. But can I do it this season? It's going to be a bit of a sort of win-see game, if you know what I mean. That's where I stand as a look at England. But coming up to the main question here, it's just coming to the main question. Now England, I know is my number one. Scotland's my number 2. I hope Scotland do well. But what I'd like to get your thoughts on is I've kind of made my challenge myself. I know there's going to be certain teams everybody's going to support, But I kind of thought the Liverpool players, and there's going to be some Liverpool players who are going to be playing for their countries, and I thought to myself, well, why not see them do well? Why not see them hopefully go on and potentially win the Euro? So the question to you is, with the Liverpool players playing for their countries so far, which country out of them would you want to win?
Oh, all right. We're going to chop that one up now, Stephen. That's a really good question. I'm going to chop that one now. Always as always, Stephen, thank you very much for supporting us, man. You always support us. You always been there from day one. So thank you very much, bro. We'll catch up.
Big up, man. Thank you.
Nice one, bro. Who do we want to see? Well, that's a good question. If the thing is, I know I'm a bit old school with this one, Drift, but I just want to see Liverpool players do well, and I just want to have a good, entertaining tournament. I know it's a cliche thing to say. I don't really have a team I want to win. I just want to see our players do well and then come back without injury.
Oh yeah. Like this is a little bit of my childhood. I totally agree with everything you said, but every tournament I go into, I want Brazil and Holland to win.
I remember you saying, about Holland.
And that just even goes back to my childhood, and it probably and I know it's strongly linked to Dennis Bergkamp and R9, but I always want Holland to do well. Now they've got, I know Van Dijk's not going, but now they've got Liverpool players in the team as well. Because Genie's still one of us forever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Holland. I'll always want Holland to do well. I just have an affiliation with Holland through. And I know it's going to sound a little bit petty, but I think it is also like ethnicity, because they were one of the only European teams that was always heavily black orientated. Do you get what I mean? Like, because European teams essentially are predominantly Caucasian, just because Europe is a Caucasian continent, right?
Yeah.
So when you're watching the Euros as a young kid, and there's one or two players you can identify, it kind of helps to like warm you to that. Not because you don't like the others, but it just warms you to that because you recognize it. So even growing up when I was really, really young, watching players like Kluivert and Edgar Davids and all of that, I was like, oh, wow, look at them. Do you know what I mean? Like, and even like, especially like Davids having dreads and stuff like that, I was like, bro, all right, then, man, you know what I mean? And then Bergkamp is just my guy. You know that. I'm arguing to the end of the death that Bergkamp's the best number 10 that ever lived. I don't really give a shit what anyone's got to say to me. Dennis,
we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Dennis the Menace, do you know what I'm saying? The Bergkamp is my guy. So I think the combination of all that has just always endeared me to Holland. I just love her. And the kit as well. Like the kit was always saucy as well, but with the orange, with the, do you know what I mean? And that. So yeah, I want Holland to win. Other than the whole, I agree. I just want to see a really good tournament. And like, but when Holland lost to Spain in that fight in the World Cup 2012, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
bruv.
The 2010.
You know,
wasn't it 2010? Hold on, was it 2012?
No, 2010. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, 2010. When Robin went through on goal in normal time, when I thought he was gonna win the game, bro. Yeah. And Robin, my guy. Like, you know, that's my second favorite behind R9. When Robin went for on goal, bro, and I thought he was going to win the world, like, you would have thought I was Dutch the way I was devastated. And I didn't even hate Spain, but I wanted
Spain to win that
so badly, bro. You don't get it.
See, I wanted Spain to win because of Alonso and Torres.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's why I wanted them to win it.
Yeah, I wanted Holland to win that one so badly, man.
No, I hear that. Right, we're going to bring in the next caller. Hey, Mr. Sadiq with the drip, you know. Man. Okay. Put you on the big screen with the new kit and that. All right.
Told you. You know what? I've got to be honest. It's the first time it's you. I blame you lot. Because last season when he came out with the kit, with the vapor kit, he's all flossing. I just sat there on the screen, just... It's tear rolling down my eye, just like, and I'm like, I can't. No, I'm not gonna do it. The money, you know what I mean? I was just like, no. And then I was like, you know what? And then so this time I was like, right, you see you see you. It's spiteful. No, it was nice. It was nice to officially turn around. I normally wait till the end of the year and then I'll buy it. Do you know what I mean? It's on discount. So I've got the last season's one, and I've got my name written on the back. Put Mr. Sids on the back. I think I was chatting to Drifty about it. It was like some ridiculous prices. It went down to like 40 quid or 45 quid with the writing. So I was like, I'll nap that. But
no brainer.
Early present for myself. My birthday's not until October, but so.
Warm ups early, yeah.
Yeah, that's my justification.
The 3/4 birthday.
You know, the best thing about an early birthday is that by the time your birthday really comes back round, you forget and then you get yourself another gift. It is what it is.
Thank you very much.
It is what it is.
But just before I say my question, I was completely with you with the whole racism thing and the football and double standards. Even as a one of the reasons why I hate Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? I have people who are older than me, like 10 years my junior. I'm 45. Do you know what I mean? So they told me I used to support Chelsea, and they told me about their experience. Do you know what I mean? And you hear the stuff about Millwall. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to anyone. I do have friends who support Millwall. And they
same.
You hear these things and you just think, ooh, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I agree with you, bro. That's what I'm saying. I know the new generation you can't tarnish with the brush of the bad people from before you didn't know, but you're right, bro. A lot of olders. By the way, black don't crack. That's madness. You just said that.
You look good.
I can't believe that. But yeah, we as the older generation, like obviously being younger than you, but still being of an older generation, and we remember that kind of way the world was back then, and it's like I don't know, man. I can't forget it. And then sometimes I think to myself, when other people are bigging up this fan base or this fan base, it's like, bro, still remember there's man there in that fan base that move mad, you know? Still remember there's man in that fan base that move mad. And again, it's not fair to tarnish the new Chelsea generation, especially after the Drogbas and all that. But maybe even they need to educate themselves on what their fans were moving like before that generation. Like it was actually, you couldn't walk through that part of town as a black person without getting broke up, attacked. Like it was Pete.
Well,
like,
without getting too political,
Chelsea Smilers.
It was only a few years ago they stopped a black guy getting on the train as well. Like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, bro.
Like it wasn't that long ago they were singing about Mo Salah being a certain thing because of his ethnicity. Like so,
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Every fan base has idiots as well. So again, I don't want to tarnish that. But yeah, that's why I struggled a little bit with that big up the Chelsea man the other day with the Man City thing. I was like, guys, don't forget, they're still our enemy.
That was the only time. I told you I'm petty. That was the only time in my history on planet Earth I ever wanted to see Chelsea win a game, and that was just to see that look on Pep's face. That's what all that £1 billion gets you, yeah. All that money and the look on his face when he walks past that trophy. So yeah, I'll pop on my question anyway.
It's a quick
one. So basically, we've got a few players who are going to be probably leaving this season, and I was thinking of some of the youngsters. So I was thinking of Wilson, and Nico, and who was the other person off the top of my head? Woodburn. And I was going to say, they do that like sort of which one would there potentially be one that you'd keep, or there would be one that you'd loan, or the one that you do you know what I mean, like, or you sell? With any of those three players or any other players that you might think of off the top of your head. So that's my question.
Nice
so
one,
Woodburn, Nico, and which other player, bro?
Wilson.
Okay, Wilson. Cool.
All right then, bro. We're gonna chop that up now. Always a pleasure, bro.
Big up, man.
Nice one, guys. Bro. See you soon.
Take care. All right then, Drift. Nico, Harry Wilson, or Woodburn? Keep, loan, and sell. Who you keeping?
Sadiq said I can only keep one, right?
Yes, he did. We can't change the rules on this one, Drew. I know what you're thinking. I see the cogs moving and thinking, right, what can I
Am I allowed?
No, you're not allowed. It's keep, loan, or sell.
No, I'm saying there's two scenarios where I would be different on each one. That's what I'm saying.
All right, go on.
So the first scenario would be if we get rid of I don't want to call them deadwood because I actually like them as players. But if we get rid of the players that are surplus to requirement, so if we got rid of Naby, we got rid of Oxen, we got rid of Shaqiri, if all of those guys there went, I would actually think, and this is if I'm saying a loan is not keeping because he's not playing for the team, I would actually loan Nico. I would actually get rid of Woodburn full stop. And I would actually keep Wilson to just have a player in the squad who suits the homegrown quota and can kind of do what Shaqiri does. Because if we're being honest, Shaqiri hasn't lived up to his potential. So what he does do, Wilson's capable of doing that. Do you get what I mean? So I'd actually keep Wilson in that scenario. If you're talking about all of those players don't go and this and that and rare and value for money and what can help our other players, I think Wilson actually has the higher value out of all of those. So then it would maybe be better to get the money for him that can buy a player in another position. And then I would keep Nico and I would get rid of Woodburn and Wilson. So it's two scenarios that make it different for me.
So here's the thing, Drift. When it comes to the quality of the player, I absolutely agree with what you just said. Like, I would sell Woodburn, I would loan Nico, and I'd keep Wilson. My question is, though, Nico goes, who deputizes for Trent?
Gomez.
Can he be relied on to deputize and be fit for a season, though? That's my only conundrum. I agree with everything you said.
I know you. I know
the
injury as well. I know, but obviously we know he can play that position very well, and he's a lot more defensive in that position, which is what I think Klopp loved about when he could play him when we were playing the team where he's got to be more pragmatic.
I think that's a bit of a myth that he's defensively good in that position. I think he gets caught out quite a lot in that position because he's so used to being a centre back. I can think back to 2 goals that never really left me. When we played Man City, I think it was 17-18 at Anfield. And I can't remember who played a diagonal ball. Someone played a diagonal ball to Leroy Sané, and Gomez was 2 in field and got caught out. And then Sané dribbled in and scored.
And the ball floated over his head, I remember.
Yeah, but also the goal against that we conceded, the first goal we conceded at Nou Camp when Barca beat us 3-0. That was again Gomez getting sucked in field. Ball came out wide to Coutinho. Coutinho plays it to Jordi Alba. Alba into Suarez, and it's a goal. So even though in one-on-one situations, yes, Gomez is better than Trent, I think as an overall right back and positional wise, I think Trent is better than Gomez. And I think Gomez, because he's a very good centre back, I think people automatically associate with him being a good defensive right back. And I don't think that always translates. But I get the sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, the only 2 rebuttals I'll have to that, even though you're right, those are 2 glaring mistakes, is he's had a lot of good games to also back up against the bad games. It wasn't like he only played there twice and he fucked up in those 2 times. He's had very good games at right back. He has. Arsenal 17-18. He had a very good game at right back at Anfield. He set up the first goal in that game for Firmino, dragged it and then crossed it with his left foot. Brilliant. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's kind of good going forward. Like, I think he's a bit underrated with his game.
I don't.
I think he's actually quite decent. He's not on no Trent level, obviously.
Yeah, but here's another one. When we drew 3-3 with Arsenal, it was him that let Sanchez go. I just think he's so used to being a centre back. It's like if we put Virgil right back, people will be like, yeah, no one's getting past Virgil at right back. He might not be able to cross. But you have to understand they're different positions. Like, you start higher up the pitch and it's different. You get to see less of the game because you're not in the middle of the park as well. So, I mean, the only other question is he better than Nico defensively and as a right back?
Yeah,
probably.
The other thing I would say defense as well is we're going back 3 to 4 seasons to find problems when he was only 20, 21 years old. True,
but also he's not played in that position since then either.
Yeah, that is true. Because you know what? I think a lot of people actually forget how young Gomez has been during this period.
Yeah. We bought him when he was 18. Now. Yeah, bought him at 18, didn't we?
So when we're winning the Champions League, he's 21, 22. When we're winning the league, he's 22, 23. The guy's, he's young. And people forget this. People act like he's this all-knowing, all-seeing 29-year-old senior centre-back. He's a kid. I mean, not now, so to speak, but during this process. Now, when we got to the Champions League final, the one we lost, he was at 2021 that year. Like,
dare I say, Drift, he is still a kid in terms of minutes played on a football pitch because he hasn't played as much minutes as most other 24. So even though he's 24, unfortunately, we still see him as a young player because he hasn't played enough football as a 24-year-old. LFC Aaron, thank you very much for your contribution. Much appreciated. As a non-Scouse white English guy, I can't stand the right-wing element with the England team. They're racist and anti-Scouse. As a lifelong LFC fan, I'm not having that. Kopish for life, you'll never walk alone. I think that's where the disconnect is. One thing I will say about Southgate, as a manager, I think he's terrible. As a person, he seems to have his head screwed on, because he has been at the forefront of making sure that players are respected and there's no discrimination in the team and things like that. I can't pick out and think, right, you know, Southgate's moving a bit mad here. Like, he seems to have the right intentions there. So that I want to give him credit for, and long may that continue, because there's been a few England managers over the years who haven't really shared that same sentiment. So I will say that about Southgate. I think he has got his heart in the right place with that stuff.
But as Aaron said though, like the anti-scouse, and then on top of that, the thing, it just feels I don't like it, man. Obviously, I don't like it for obvious reasons, but at the same time, you know, when you were saying about like, do we just put it to one side for a tournament? That's almost like, I never going to give an analogy about racism, but it's kind of like, I even just using your one, like you said, like you go to work and you know that there's a guy and he's blatantly racist at work, but you got to work with him. But then there's like a special project, and you know it will get you a promotion if you work with him. So you just go, fuck the fact that he's racist. I'm going to do this because I want a promotion. That your morals are still like, you know what I mean? That you're going to be wrestling with it. Because it's like, I don't like this guy, and I know this guy don't like me either. He's probably going home to his wife and being racist to me when he goes home and stuff. And it's like, and I'm going to get somewhere working with him, but I don't, this don't sit well.
Gonna mean it. Yeah.
That's what it feels like when I'm supporting England. I'm like, the fans don't even like the people on the pitch, but they're going to cheer.
Not all. You have to be clear.
Yeah, not all of them. I know, obviously not all of them, but like there was a big majority of booing fans. And then afterwards, there was loads of talk shows where people calling in and trying to justify the
that's
booing.
what I did. There was a Sky Sports interview.
Going on, man?
There was a Sky Sports interview with a representative, a fan representative of England, and that's what that just turned my stomach. And I was like, these are the sort of people that are on the board, and not necessarily on the board for England, but these are the ones that are given a voice by the FA. Like, these people are meant to represent the country. Like, that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yes. Monsieur says, is it me, or am I not feeling the Euro vibe that I usually feel before a big international tournament? Something is missing. England will just fall short. Let the game start, and I think that vibe will come. I think it's just been a weird time, hasn't it, in just life in general. But I think once the tournament starts and we start seeing some football, we start seeing some goals go in, start seeing some good performances, I think that vibe will come. Plus, there's not been a big turnaround between the end of the season and the start of the Euros either.
Yeah, and I don't even want to come across like an old head, but because people in their 20s will probably not even get what I mean, but there was a different vibe around international tournaments back in the day. And I feel like because international football gets in the way during the domestic year, we've become kind of like, we hate it almost in England now. I think a lot of other nations, they still love it. But in England, we feel like no break, no rest. Then all the international games come and mess it all up. And a lot of our players in this country are from other countries. And I'm not saying that other countries don't have it, but the ones who get picked for their national team, it's not as much. So if you go to Spain, if you go to Italy, if you go to Holland, if you go to France, there's not as many players who are none of that country that go and play for their national team. Whereas in England, it's predominantly 50 to 70% of all the big teams players go and play abroad and have all these long flights and all that. So international football seems to really mess with us a lot more in England than it does in other countries. And I feel like that's why we hate international football, on top of the no Christmas break and all that. And then when the tournament comes round, you're so used to hating international football that it's hard to switch back again and then go back to loving international football. It's weird. But when I was a kid, like in the early noughties and all of that, and like the late 90s, bro, international football was it. Like, that was it. Like, that was what you wanted to watch. That was all you cared about. International football. Now, maybe with the Champions League as well being so big and on telly all the time and all that, that's all that we really care about now. Champions League and Premier League, like international football's a little, I don't know, it's weird. That might just be my take, but I think the old heads will get what I mean, though.
No, I think I hear you. Kwam Adebayo says has just become a new member. Thank you very much, Kwam. If you want to become a new member of ours, guys, hit the link in the YouTube description. You get exclusive videos, behind the scenes access, and much, much more. And with the season starting to go back to normal, hopefully next season, You're going to get a lot more if you're a member as well. So now would be a great time to sign up as well. Magic Mastermind says, love your show, guys. Off subject, but what do you think CR7 Messi's numbers would be in the Premier League if they played here throughout their careers?
Probably half of what it is. So it will still be spectacular. But what's Messi on? 700 and something career goals.
I'll be honest, I think it'd pretty much be the same.
Bro, Messi isn't getting 700 goals in the Premier League. No way. I don't
think he's got 700 in La Liga. I think he's got 700 over the course of his whole career. That's La Liga, Champions League, and all that.
About 600 of them are in the league, though, right?
Maybe. But we'll put it this way: when Ronaldo left, Ronaldo got 31 Premier League goals, and he was at his peak then.
But I still think that was the best version of him, if I'm being honest.
Not the most devastating, though. The most devastating was the Real Madrid.
Yeah, it wasn't the most devastating, but it was the best version. Though.
And then I think Messi is a better player than Ronaldo. I'll be honest, I think Messi and Ronaldo would have done a madness in the Premier League still.
No, I still think half in their numbers would have been a madness, though, bro. It would have still been a madness, but it would have been Premier League madness, not world madness. Bro, no way is Messi getting 40. I think one calendar year he got 91 goals, right? And I think like in La Liga for one of those, whatever season ended in that year, he ended on like 44 La Liga goals. No one's getting 44 Premier League goals. No one. Like, I'm sorry, I don't.
All right, you say that. Suarez got 31?
Yeah. And that was an absolutely outstanding season.
No, I hear you. But Suarez didn't play all 38 games. He played 32 games maybe?
I think he missed 5. I think he played 33 games. He missed 5 games.
Was it 33 games he played? Is it conceit? I'll be honest with you. And even in some of those games, Suarez hit the post and he didn't score when he should have. I'm going to be real with you. Messi, Ronaldo could get similar numbers to what they've got if they'd stayed in the Premiership. Or if Ronaldo stayed in the Premiership and Messi played in the Premiership. Depending on the teams they played for as well, obviously. Like, let's not forget, Real Madrid's Ronaldo played in a phenomenal team and Messi played in a phenomenal Barca team as well. I just think them two, they're special players.
What did they play for to get those numbers? Because as you said, a lot of what that was about, obviously, them two players at different level, but they did have a supporting cast of Iniesta and Xavi and Neymar and Suarez and Benzema and Cruz and Modric and Bale. And but I'm being honest, in the Premier League, what Premier League team allows them to get that many goals as well? Because we got good teams in the Prem, but we don't play football like that in the Prem. Like, what team does Messi get 44 goals at? I don't know.
Maybe I'm being biased, but the only 2 teams I think he does that at, well, 3 teams, is the old Man United, Liverpool, and Man City.
You could be right. I think the Premier League is a different beast, though, and I feel like 44 goals in one season in the Premier League will never happen. If it does happen, I'll be astonished.
I'll be honest, I think the Premier League over the last couple of years has been massively overrated.
But in general, it's the hardest league to score goals in.
I disagree.
I think it is, personally. I could be being biased, but I think the English league is the hardest league to score goals.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we've had the best strikers that I've ever lived, like Henry, Shearer, and even they didn't get those numbers, bro. Playing for teams that were absolutely outstanding, like that Arsenal Invincibles, and Henry still never bust 31 goals. Like, when you think about it, that's mad, bro.
That is true. But Henry is different, innit? Henry could play a game and not score, but he'd set up 3. I suppose Messi's like that as well, to be fair.
And Nistelrooy never bust that. What a goal scorer!
I know, but Messi and Ronaldo are different, man. There's something different about them too.
As out and out goal scorers, I think those kind of players are fair comparisons, though. I think if you look at Van Nistelrooy and you look at Henry, you look at Shearer, you look at Michael Owen, you look at like Robbie Fowler, you look at.
By the same time, I look at Salah. I look at Salah though. Salah got 31 in the league again.
No, 32. He equaled the record. 32 he got.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he equaled the record.
Ronaldo and Messi are better finishers than Salah.
No, they are, but I don't know if they've had a better individual season. Well, I know Ronaldo in the Premier League didn't have an individual season. Maybe Messi could have, but that individual season in the Premier League for Salah was something else. Like, that was extraordinary. Like, I don't even think you could say Ronaldo at Man U had a season that outstanding in terms of the goals. Like, just all the goals at the right time in the big games. Salah was out of this world that season for goal scoring. It was crazy.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
you could be right. You could be right.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because we'll never know. I don't think it's inconceivable to think that they would.
When
It'd
I look
be difficult.
at has got 269?
Something like that.
Premier League. I know he played quite a few years before the Premier League started, but in general, the bulk of his career was in the Prem. And I look at that and I think, nah, Messi ain't getting 600 goals in the Prem if Shearer only got 200.
I think he's only got. I say only. I think he's on 400 in the Liga. But I'm not 100. Again, don't quote me on that.
Oh, if that's the case, then that's a little bit. I thought he had like nearly 600 goals in.
Let me quickly have a look. Let me Google it. Google's our best.
If it's 400, then that's different. He could have got 400 in the Prem, yeah. But I thought he was on like 600 goals in the league, 700 and something goals overall, or something stupid.
How many goals does Messi have in the league? 474. Oh,
do you know what? That's ridiculous. But that's still a little bit maybe more realistic. Because I thought it was more close to 600.
Do you know how many goalkeepers you've packed out when you're seeing 474? Do you know how ridiculous that is?
No, do you know what? I think he would have been able to get 400 Premier League goals in his whole career. Yeah. 80. I think you'd have got 80% of the goal of what his goal ratio is. Maybe if he played in the Premier League, 80%.
Ronaldo got 311 in La Liga. He would have got that in the Prem over his career.
Yeah, he would have. That's human. That's a lot more human. 311. 480.
I can't even do maths on that when you break down the 38 game seasons and all that. It's mad.
I mean, to be fair to Ronaldo, Messi played 4 years in La Liga that he didn't before he came, and now he's played 2 seasons. So we have to be fair.
But the only thing is, though, you have to argue that Messi played before his peak in that. You could argue Ronaldo went to Real Madrid in his peak.
Yeah. That's
Messi had to get to his peak and then just keep on climbing.
Yeah, that's true. And I just realized being 3 years younger, that means that he probably didn't actually play as much football as I'm thinking he did anyway.
And he's a creator.
Yeah, it's peak, bro.
So, Drift, that's why I've got Messi as my best number 10 of all time. But we'll move on. We'll move on.
You know what's going to be the maddest video we ever do over this summer? It's going to be the World 11 draft. It's going to be a madness, bro.
It is.
World ever draft. Bro, oh my days. It's going to be stupid.
It is. And the thing is, whoever gets the first pick, I think we all know who everyone would go for first pick. I think that's what makes it crazy.
To be honest, if I don't get first pick, I'm not playing.
I might try and make that happen still. I got done dirty in the last draft. I'm going to know how to approach this one. Brian says, thoughts on Fabio Vieira swap with Grujic, also Neus. So we've spoken about Neus. Fabio Vieira, again, don't know much about him. He's a very different player to Grujic from what I've seen of him and the few times I've watched him. They're not the same. They're not the same type of player. And I don't even think we could do a swap deal because I think he's valued way more than Grujic is. So I think maybe if we were to get him, we would knock down some of the price because we're selling him Grujic, but I don't think it'd be a swap deal. If you ever pick Origi or Lovren, I'm shutting off your screen, bro. I'll just remove you from the whole thing. Never do that.
I'll put Origi on my bench, innit?
Yeah, if you ever. All right, got to bring the next caller. Jamie, how you doing, bro?
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad, brother. How's the family?
Yeah, they're all good.
Good.
So, I was listening to you guys yesterday about Hendo. It was a great stream, by the way.
Bless you, man.
And you were talking about Fekir. and he could have possibly replaced Hendo.
Yeah.
I think it was Bobby who would have been in trouble.
Ooh.
I think Fekir would have been the false nine with Salah and Mane either side.
Do you know, it's weird you say that. Shout out to my barber at Icon Barbers, Vinny. He said that to me and I didn't want to accept it.
No, but I can see Fekir being able to play a false nine in Liverpool's system, and I think that's what he was being bought for. I think Klopp likes a work engine in midfield. He just loves it, and why would you change that when it's brought so much success? And Fekir as a false nine with that pace he's got, that trickery, the wingers next to him, been different. Yeah, but also, the other thing I was going to say, sorry.
No, go on.
The other stuff I was going to say was about transfers. Now, you hear a lot of Liverpool fans, especially on Twitter, going crazy about transfers because we're not in for people like Sancho. We don't really need Sancho. He's not a player we need right now. Man United need Sancho because they haven't got a right winger. So it makes sense for them. For me, ownership and management go together. And our owners and our management seem to work very well together. I look at a lot of teams, say like Everton, they've spent like 300 odd million in 3 years. And they've not progressed as a team. I think you need the right players to fit your formation and your style of play. You see Pep Guardiola at Man City, came in his first season, couldn't win the league because he didn't have the right players to suit his system. But the team they had that year, Klopp would have won the league with. You don't need all these special players. People go, oh, you need the Mbappe, you need Sancho, you need this, you need that. All these special players to fit into your team. If it don't work in your team and it's a system, there's no point buying them. I think I remember Real Madrid went through a few years of getting all these special players and they struggled for a few years in Europe. Kept going out in the last 16 quarterfinals and stuff like that because they sold a certain player called Makelele who was so good in that team that Zidane, I remember, couldn't believe it when Madrid sold him.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I just think we don't need, get certain players in that do the job for Klopp in his system and we will still be successful. That's my personal opinion.
I think you've articulated that really well. What I will ask you though, Jamie.
I can't even argue. I mean,
the Sancho one, I agree to an extent. We don't need Sancho, but he'd be a nice option to have because he's a creative winger as opposed to a goal-scoring winger.
Yeah, but with the only thing with Sancho, he plays on that right-hand side, I think, don't he?
He can play both, and he can play as a 10 as well.
I just don't see him playing for a 10 in the Liverpool team. I see him as a wide player.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mane and Salah, why would you ever, unless they really needed a rest, why would you rest them? I don't understand this rotation thing all the time either. Pep Guardiola has lost big Champions League games and a Champions League final because he never plays his best team on that day. And he swaps it around too much, and that costs him. I don't think you need to rotate as much as you should. Salah, I mean, the reason the best players never get serious injuries is because they look after their bodies. And that's the reason the best players ever never have really serious injuries. Look at Messi. Messi, he's had injuries, of course he has. The man plays all the time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting in a right winger just for Messi, just in case he needs to, a 3-game rest? Messi's you want to rest me for 3 games?
Well, to be fair, they've tried it. They did it with Sancho, and that's why Sanchez saying that's why within 2 years he moved on. Then barely gets any games. So to be fair, Barcelona have actually done that where they bought a replacement for Messi, but he doesn't really get much game time.
Exactly, and that's why I feel like Sancho, he's a very good young player, And I don't think we need him to come to Liverpool to play the odd 3 games so Salah can have a rest. That's not the sort of play we need. A Rafinha would work perfectly well in that position.
Could you not argue though, Jamie, that by having those players and having that caliber of squad, it allows you to attack more competitions? Because we barely play Salah and Mane in like the FA Cup or League Cup, but then the drop off is so drastic that we can't even challenge for those trophies.
No, you are right there, but I don't give a damn about them 2 cups. I'll put it quite clean now. You got 1 cup that's named after an energy drink, and and another cup that Portsmouth and Wigan won and got relegated, almost went out of business. What is it? Is it really success for teams this big? I don't think so. I think the league and the Champions League for teams our size should be our only priority for me. That's success.
I don't know. I'm a bit old school, man. I like padding out the trophy cabinet, Jamie.
Yeah, but I mean, Arsenal have won how many FA Cups and they're crap.
Yeah, I know, but I know. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't just be happy just winning the FA Cup, but it'd be nice to get a double.
Yeah, I'd like to get a double, League and Champions League. There you go.
I can't argue with that one, Jamie.
No.
I can't.
You know, I actually see a side to both of what you're saying. I think that's the beauty of football, that if someone articulates himself well, like Jamie has, you can see the point, and then you can't argue why that's not a good thing. So I get the point. I'm kind of along the feeling of I want to be a bit like how Pep is now, Jamie, where he's got Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Sterling, Fernand, Torres. Like he has people who he does play mainly, because you're right, you do need to have that consistency. But if he has to change, he knows the person who's going to play can do the job. And right now, without disrespect to Shaqiri or Ox or any of the players that might play wide, if we do have a problem, they just aren't good enough. And then that's where the problem comes in. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, you're right. You're correct there. We need a bit better backup, but you don't have to be Sancho. That's what I mean by it. We could buy two 40 million pound wingers that are going to do the job. I mean, let's face it, there is a lot of Liverpool fans who didn't want Salah out there because they thought, what, Chelsea reject? He's done really nothing at Rome. What's he going to do?
Yeah, they didn't research that.
I was taken so back by the people who didn't want Salah when we signed him.
It's because they didn't watch him.
And now look at him. He's the best right-sided forward in world football. You got Mane when he's at his best. Is there many better left-sided? No, it's just you can. I mean, money's not everything. For me, I mean, I looked at Arsenal. Arsenal have spent a lot of money. Yeah, they've spent more than us, but they've not progressed like we have.
Yeah, and
it's got to do with a bit of everything: management, ownership, scouting. I mean, Pepe, 70 million. Jesus Christ! I mean, that Pepe cost combined of Salah and Mane.
Yeah, crazy.
Mustafi, is it? I remember when they bought Mustafi.
40.
He cost the same as Salah. I mean, I don't think you have to spend a £200 million. We've got to stop looking at Man City and Chelsea. That's what we've got to stop doing, because they got owners that are liquid rich. People keep saying, "Oh, FSG are worth 2.8 billion." It's like they're not. Their company's worth that money. Yeah. They probably ain't got a pot to pee in. That's not, what I mean? They've got. It's like the geezer who runs Amazon is regarded as the richest man in the world. He ain't. His company, if he sold his company tomorrow, he would be, but he's nowhere near the city.
I think Bezos might be different, Jamie. I think his money's mad.
Oh yeah, but he's got a private tax fund, don't you? But we just got to stop comparing ourselves to City and Chelsea. Part of me likes the way we do it when we win leagues and Champions Leagues. Part of me likes it. Like Pep Guardiola's almost spent £1 billion as City manager, and he's got the same amount of Champions Leagues as Morecambe with him. So part of me actually likes the way we do it. So
I don't know why that Morecambe
Yeah, that's completely done me.
Big up, Nathan.
Oh, that's completely done me. That's done me, James.
I honestly think we're going to buy a couple more players in the positions that we need, and all that stuff I keep reading about. We ain't going to get a Gini replacement's rubbish. We'll get a midfielder in, and we'll probably get a forward in. That'll be it. But with all our fit players back, and the way we're looking, I think we'll be fine next season. I think we'll be fine. And the main thing is fans are going to be back next season, and that's a massive boost to us because we would never have lost 6 league games in a row with fans, not a chance in hell. And I think that's basically a new signing right there in some ways, the fans.
Very true.
I've been telling people. I've been telling them. But
Jamie,
no, some great points though, Jamie, man.
Yeah,
That
absolutely amazing.
Got me now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. I know we're gonna bring in the next caller, Jamie, but always love, bro. We'll stay in contact, man.
Yes, man.
Thank you.
Take care, bro.
Peace. Bloody hell,
that Morecambe comment goes in the legendary list of comments.
That was one of them subtle ones where I can't stop laughing. Like every time, like it's like shit. That would hit me slowly, and then
brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Right, gonna bring in our next caller. Isaiah, welcome to the show, bro.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, man. How you doing?
First time on the show. Really glad to be here. Usually I just listen to you guys on work, but yeah, first time getting to actually come and I say give it a try.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Just wanna firstly say in terms of like our academy players, I really believe we should give them more respect because there's been to answer to the question with the Woodburn, Wilson, and Nico. I'll keep Nico unless if we don't get another centre back, I'll keep Nico because Gomez, Matip, we know how that goes, and who else will cover for Trent, you know? Also, just with the fight down, basically, Trent got this season in terms of England, and really annoyed me because if you think about it, Chelsea's looking to go and get Hakimi now. That's the only person on Trent's level, right? And man like Reece James was being compared. That's just real disrespect, you know? So I just really find like we should give them more respect again. So for Curtis Jones, I'll just be cool if we honestly just replace Gini with Nehus and let Curtis get a run of football because we can't rely on Ox and Keita, unfortunately. Hopefully Ox stays fit though. And in terms of attack, I really find we should give the boy Harvey Elliott a chance. You know, give him that backup instead of Salah and see what he does. And we just add one more striker, you know. So I would say Depay, Gini's not going Barca again. There's not really that link up anymore. When I come Liverpool, you know. And we see how it goes. But I find that'll be a good transfer window. Nehus and Depay, and that's it. I'll say we'll be pretty good next season with that. We should really just give those guys more respect because there was Russ and stuff. He was supposed to be this big thing. There was Woodburn. Didn't really cut it. Trent cut it. Curtis Jones there. I really find give Nico a chance as well, you know. And I really would like to see Elliott get the chance to do his thing. And if we don't get 2 midfielders and just get Nehus in replacement for Gini, Curtis will get a chance to play more football and we could really see how things go.
Right, dude.
You know what? I can't argue, bro. I can't argue. Everyone knows I love Curtis. I think he's going to be a future captain. I love the kid. And you know, this Elliott thing, I'm warming to it. If I'm being honest, I'm warming to the idea of Elliott playing some football because I know he's only 18, but he kind of proved that he can do it. You know what I mean? So maybe, you never know, maybe. And that Depay thing, I forgot about Gini not going Barca now means they're not going to link up. So unless PSG go and get Depay for them to link up there, then maybe we should go and try and get Depay for cheap, for real.
I thought that Depay is it not confirmed to Barca Depay yet, or is that still not happening?
I'm not too sure.
If it hasn't happened, I'd still try for him. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott he's quality. The only thing I worry about Harvey playing on the right hand side of a front three is, does he have the pace and athleticism of a Mane or Salah or Jota? As a technician, I think Harvey Elliott is very good for his age, like special for his age.
You won't believe, I was even thinking as well, maybe we shouldn't even put Harvey in striker and give him like that new Lallana role and like try him in midfield and see how he does, because he got a good number of assists as well.
That's what I want to see him play in the center of the park. That's
what
I
was thinking about that as well.
I think he'd be best there.
Like a number 10 or try the 8, who knows?
Yeah, and that was the reason why if we'd have been in that dead competition, I would have wanted him to play all the time. But now, obviously, we made Champions League. I would still play him in the Carabao Cup, play him in the FA Cup. You know what I mean? Bring him on 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a game that we've clearly won. You're right, play him in that 10, play him in midfield, play him as a box-to-box maybe for 10 minutes, see how good he is at doing that. Because you're right, he doesn't have that pace to play wide, but he's definitely got the creativity in the football brain to be central without a shadow of a doubt. So, good point, man.
Yeah, I just really want those lads to really get the try, you know? Elliott, Jones. And I just want to try and keep doing this thing and just keep fight down, you know, like that English thing. That was just weird. And honestly, on a last note, I know I don't want to waste too much of time.
You're good, bro.
That racism thing is a very serious thing. Like, I was thinking the other day, you know, like, if you go like way back into things, when we were growing up, we were watching cartoons. Like, I don't know, y'all are older than me, but like for my generation, we had like stuff like Powerpuff Girls, right? The villain in that was actually a black monkey, if you think about it, Mojo Jojo, right? So it's just like all those kind of weird stuff. It's like you have to really watch out what your child watches too, and you know, like, because people could just be conditioned that black is bad. Like parents and thing in like old folk days would be like, don't wear all black, you know, don't put black clothes on the bed, those kind of things. So it's like just be conditioned as well. So it's just how to like be intelligent about it. And the thing is, the education is out there now. So if you choose to be that, you just choose to be oblivious about it. So it's really a terrible thing.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
Isaiah, absolute pleasure having you on, especially for the first time, man. Great stuff, bro.
Yeah. Glad I got to meet you, man.
Nah, pleasure.
Yeah, man. Big up, man. Jump on again, definitely.
Definitely.
Thank you. Enjoy your day, guys.
You too, bro.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, them cartoons back in the day, I'm never gonna lie, bro. Bloody hell.
Yeah, a bit wild. Wild.
You know, even not even just necessarily racist, even just politically incorrect or like
yeah.
You know, when you're like watching things and like but you know what's mad? I had Family Guy on in the background the other day, and no American
Family. Yeah, but them two are wild. But I think they are purposely wild.
No, but bro, basically he was terrorizing this Indian family because they thought they were terrorists, yeah, for the whole episode. And right at the end, they go, do you know what? Don't even worry about it, man. You're not as bad as our old neighbors. They were black. Just casually dropped it like that. Like, what?
No, but I think that's their comedy thing.
I know, but bro, like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It's like somebody came out the telly and boxed me in the face. I'm like, hold on, what did I just hear? What? You know what I mean? And do you remember Pepe Le Pew, bro? Not even on a racist thing. Bro, he was a skunk that was a rapist.
Yeah.
Bro, the whole thing was him sexually harassing the female. The whole thing, that's literally all it was, bro. Man, how the hell did that make you on TV, bro?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Like, that's all he was, bro. It's just a sexual predator. Man was just harassing the thing, bro. She was telling man every minute of every day, allow me, running away from him. And he just crazy, bro. Crazy. So yeah, back in the day, there was a lot of shit that shouldn't have been on TV, man.
Very true. Very true. Right, bringing on our next guest, familiar face.
No, man. Listen, I was watching tennis because I like him.
Liverpool Lee in the cup.
Listen, you know what? Firstly, shout out to my brother Matt. It's mad hot in this house, man. It's London. I'm in London, man. I'm in London, man. It's hot.
Oh, you're in London?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So it's a link up soon. It's a link up, man. It's a link up soon. Like, get me. But, bruv, I'm gonna be real with you, bruv. I'm back in London. I'm not feeling this whole hate that I'm getting from certain my brothers that think I'm joking with this Liverpool lead thing. I'm listen, shout out to my boy Paris, innit? My boy Paris, he thinks I'm joking, innit? Like, you might need to know I signed a contract. I'm out here with this Liverpool lead thing, man. It's a joke.
DLC settings, bruv. It's binding, bruv. It's binding.
Listen, man. It's over. I big up Jamie because when I heard that Pepe thing, I was just laughing in my head, bruv. Like, hey, man, good. I was happy, bro. But yeah, so shout out about that because for the new baby. But you know what? My first point I was going to come to, innit, is everyone talks about this whole that when you're getting older, you need to be sold. I don't know about you, but the older I get, the better I'm getting in certain things, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know about you, man, yeah, but me, man, the older I get, man, just feeling loose. I don't know, the older you get, you gotta talk about age.
Because you know what it is, but when you're young, yeah, you're naive and you just rely on your athleticism. But that don't get you out of problems and it don't solve everything.
The techers and the experience that I've been learning over the last, I would say, 4 years, bro. We got me through a couple minutes. Now you're thinking about all sorts. Yeah, I've been trying to just hold on, but yeah, like real talk, everyone's been talking about like, oh, the older you get, like you need to be sold. But I'm actually going to contradict myself in it because I don't know if you obviously like, you may not watch NFL, but a lot of them, the coaches will be like, you sell a player a year early than a year late. And Drifty, I'm gonna come to you because the Mane thing, bro.
I knew it.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you, yeah. I'm gonna be real with you because I ain't been on for a couple of weeks, innit? Because obviously I've been having date nights with the missus and that, bro. And I tell you what, I've been telling my missus to watch you, because I need someone to defend me the way that you defend Mane and Hendo. My missus been getting tricks, bro. Yeah, that's why she been getting the date nights, because man, she be learning from you, Drifty. You get me? She be learning, bro. You get me? But real talk, yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Selling a man a year early, definitely better. And I'll be real with you. If we could get Mbappe, I would swap him, Because, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's not even to do with age, innit? It's not to do with age. I just think he's a better player. I do, bro. But at the same time, you know what I like about Mane? He's so strong and diminutive for who he is. It's like it's hard to say, yeah, I fully want him gone, but I would swap him if I could get not Sancho, but for Mbappe, because I think he's a generational talent. Whereas I think with Mane, he's just a very, very good player. So I don't want to ruffle no feathers, but like real talk, if I could, I would. And even when you was talking about Hendo yesterday, you see the thing with Hendo, he's consistently been getting better to get to this possible. I mean, I wouldn't call him world class, but to possibly to that stage where he is now. Whereas I think with Mane, he's always been at a very, very good level since he's come to Liverpool, and I just feel like he's now going down, and I think it would be better to if I could, I would swap him, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I would. But it's not me saying I want Mane gone, because I don't think and it's not an age thing. I just think the signs that you show, everyone's talking about Aubameyang saying he's dead now, yeah. So you have to give the same energy to Mane, innit?
No, I'm not one of them though, bro. I don't think Aubameyang's dead.
Well, a lot of people been on his case, like saying how like Aubameyang. A lot of people have been on Aubameyang's case this season, saying how like he's looking dead now. He's not playing the same way, etc., etc. Hazard, before he left, there were rumors about him leaving. So I just think it's better to sell someone a year early than a year late. That's just my personal opinion on it. Like,
I don't think what you're saying is wrong, bro. Like, by the way, I'm not one of the people who thinks about. I think it's crazy for Aubameyang to have one bad year in like 8 years, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, I don't get that personally. Maybe he's getting comfortable because he's got that big contract, but he's still a world-class striker. You didn't know about that.
Well, what do you think it is that's making him like just go so like, because he was poor last season,
Who's this?
Do you know what though? I think it's a lot to do with
No,
the
no,
way.
I'm just about, forget about me, man. I'm just about that goofy guy, man. I'm just about a real player. Come on, I'm just about a real football team, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm just about a real football team. None of these fake clowns, bro. I told you, bro. That's what I told you. My boy Paris Fix. I'm joking. My boy, you messaged me in it because he watches the show in it, but he never comes on the live in it. He sent me a picture. He was like, Liverpool. I'm like, bro, man, sign the contract, man. He's gone. I told you when I came back as well, but you see, my house was quiet because I patted my dad to get me. Because man, I had to just tell him, bro, you made me waste my years supporting Arsenal, bro. Let me, bro. Wasting my years, bro. Man, I had to just set pace in there. You get me, come on, man. Set pace in that. But we were talking, I want to know why Barney's acted up, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Before I forget, big up Mumsy as well. Still, it was her birthday, bro. So
It was Mum's birthday. Let me drop the beat for Mum.
Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah, love.
But yeah, I don't think we should sell him. Do you know what? I'm not stupid enough to not get why people would do the swap in terms of the talent Mbappe is. So I don't really get angry at that as a thing, because I do get it. Would I do it? Hell no. But I get it.
But why not? I not forget the whole FSG thing about like, oh, it's you shouldn't have to get rid of one player to get another player. I'm just asking you because I genuinely think Mbappe is not clear, because I know obviously that's a sticky word on the show, isn't it? I'm just thinking I think he is better than Mane. It's like I think it's an obvious difference between the two. So I would rather get rid of him and get two extra players, like I don't know, like get like that guy from that German team. I can't remember the Portuguese striker.
Andre Silva.
Yeah, Andre Silva, and like someone else on the right, maybe like a Sancho. I think like we deserve extra players, but getting rid of Mane a year early rather than a year late is something which I'm worried about, because even though this whole thing about Willock, this is the perfect time to sell him, because you can get 40 million. You don't want to wait another year and his value drops. Even the same thing for Origi, even the same thing for all the players we had on loan. Like, you don't want to wait another year and then your player drops. Even this morning, I was watching Callum when he was talking about Grujic. Last year, we could have got, what was it, 12 million, 16 million, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Don't want to waste the money that you can get, because obviously we know we're on some Moneyball thing. You might as well sell him, reinvest that money, because we know that we're not going to get the money in it. So it's pointless, isn't it? So I don't know.
You know what? People are going to think I'm crazy, but I think it's only age. The Mbappe Mane thing that I genuinely do. We're talking about ability. I don't think there's a difference. I just think they're both spectacular players. Like I rate Mane on another level to maybe.
But if you took your Liverpool glasses off, do you genuinely think?
But I felt like this before, but he just increased it with how we went up a level. We've had conversations off camera, like me and Cal felt the same. And I remember Matt was a bit doubtful at the time, but then he realized, well, when Mane was at Southampton, I knew he was this guy. There was something about him. I just knew it. When we were linked with him, I was over the moon. In fact, that summer, we got Ronaldo and Mane, and I felt like Klopp was listening to my phone calls, because those are actually the two players that I wanted at Liverpool. And I felt like he was like, and Mane just gone from strength to strength to strength. And yeah, last season wasn't a great season. I agree with that. Still got 22 goal contributions, by the way, though. But I get that wasn't a great season. But
even this whole goal contribution thing, that's fake, bro. Like we never really spoke about goal contribution, bro. It was always about
goals and assists. I just put it into one to make it easier. Goals and assists.
Bro, you've been joining the new wave of them kids, bro, because we don't speak about goal contribution.
But it's this new wave of kids that seem to like feel like stats are all that matter. So I'm like, I give you all these arguments for why he's a great player. And then if you want me to make it simplistic enough for you to get it, 22 goal contributions. Better than Rashford, who they said had a great season. And he got better stats than Rashford. So I'm just saying, Mane's going to be on fire next season, trust. Mane's going to be on fire.
Listen, I just want to make it very clear. I'm not saying that Mane's dead at all. And I'm not coming for you personally. You know that. Yeah. I'm just more saying that what does your eye test tell you, bro? Because the eye test is a major thing. Because for me, I think Rashford is woeful. The same way I think Martial was woeful. And it's the same thing when they say if someone scores a goal and you see it on like the teletext or one of them old school things, and you be like, yeah, I see that my man scored a goal, but you know he's dead. you're not going to rate him because you just think, okay, he scored the goal, but it doesn't mean that he should be playing, he shouldn't be in the team. And I'm not talking about Mane, I'm just saying in general. For example, I don't know, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a bang average player, but if he scored 10 goals in a season, it doesn't make him, it doesn't mean that he's a good player. And again, I'm not comparing him to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Mane, no way. I'm just saying, for me, him getting those 20 goals, 22 assisted goals, it doesn't necessarily validate the fact that he should be still in Liverpool. And again, I just want to talk about leveling up to the point of Man City and maybe Man United, even though I hate them, or even Man City, who are obviously a problem in it, the Chelseas and all of that in the world. And we have to also think about the other European teams, because Bayern Munich, they got all of these bad boys in the team, and we want to win the Champions League, and they ain't coming from England. And if it does, we've got to think about all those other teams. So, like, it's hard, isn't it? Like, and again, I feel like I'm bashing Mane. I'm not. But
no, I don't think you are.
I get what you're saying. What you're saying is making sense in the way you're saying it. I understand it. And again, I also get that if you don't get Kylian now, you probably will never get him. And I get that there's always going to be the one that got away feeling as well. So I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. But you know what it does come back to though, bro? And this is what's the worst thing about it. FSG need to stop moving to where they are so we don't have to make this choice. This is what the bottom line problem is. We should be able to have them all. Do you get what I mean? Because
you're going to say that. You're going to say I'm ruthless because I'm going to be real with you. It's not even about necessarily keeping Mane. I think Mane should be going and we get Rafinha and Sancho. That's why I'm going to be cutthroat. And I feel like, again, I'm on Mane's case when I'm not. I just feel like Mane, the eye test was bad because obviously man just joined the Liverpool wave, you get me? So I've been literally fully watching all the games because I've been like, that's what I've been doing. I've fully been trying to analyze, and he's been dropping 0s out of 10s for games in a row. And it's not just him. And you're right about the whole Robertson thing, because Robertson's been quite poor as well. And obviously their connection has been wonderful for the last, 4 years? 3 years. 3 years. So that plays a massive role in it. So I have to give you the respect for that because you've been stating that for a while, innit? So, but I'm just worried that when I look at Mane, he's beating weights off the ball, like he's been looking slow. Like these are things that it's sometimes it's not about mentality, it's more about your body. Your body just can't do it anymore, and you kind of have to cut the ties. Like you have to sometimes and say, do you know what do I want to do to level up? What do I want to do? And Mane is a favorite of all of us, most of us, innit? But sometimes you just have to. Me being a teacher, bro, I've got favorites, but if they're naughty in my class and that, I shouldn't have. But if I've got naughty kids in my class and all the good kids that I love in my class, they're still getting attention if they don't do their work or whatever it is on my lesson. I pattern them up, innit? And it's the same thing with Mane. That's the way I feel. Like he's one of my favorites, one of the favorites of the Prem, just like Son's one of the favorites of the Prem. But you have to still give him this. You can't give him a scapegoat because you don't like him or whatever. You just say what it is, and I don't know, man. But again,
here's the thing, Lee. I echo a lot of what you say, and I've said this a few times. What makes this Mane situation difficult for this summer is the length of time left on his contract. If Mane had another 4 years, he's only got 2 years left on his contract. If he had 4 years or 3 years left on his contract, I wouldn't even consider selling him. But you see, because he's got 2 and he just had the season he just had, that's my worry, because now there's a lot of pressure on him to perform next season to get a new contract. But then on the flip side, Liverpool are in a horrible position because you cannot let a man like Mane's contract run into 1 year. Especially if he has another bad season. We're going from a player who, if we were to sell him now, maybe cost you 70 million, to a player who's going to be worth 30 million. That's a 40 million pound drop. We ain't that sort of club that can just.
This is the thing, though, man.
Like, but forget about FSG drift.
Forget FSG.
No, I am forgetting about FSG because, like, that whole.
This is football in general, drift.
This end up going left. But like, first of all, he should get a contract regardless of whatever season he has. But we're not gonna have that argument again. But when it comes to like certain players, like I said, Mane and Salah, I will continue to say this till the day I die. Yeah, they are Robin and Ribery. They retire at Liverpool. Whatever we do around it, we do it. I don't want to hear this value. Get this. They're getting old.
Here's the difference, though, drift. Robin and Ribery were at Bayern Munich, who dominate that league and only have one competitor per season.
Mhm.
We are in the Premier League where we can conceivably finish the league winners one season
Mhm.
and then next season struggle to get in the top 4. That's how real the Prem is.
Mhm.
And I know
That's why
there's
you
been
need the man around though, bro.
no,
because
I
that's
hear
how high
you,
the
I
level
hear
is.
you. But here's the thing, and I know I'm gonna get slated for this, but I actually think a top 4 Mane is better than a top 4 Mbappe. But what I will say to you is, Mbappe is not at his peak. Mane is right now.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there's only 2 outcomes for Mane. There is you stay at your peak for a few more years,
Mhm.
or you start to diminish.
Mhm.
Last season showed signs that he might not be at his peak anymore, but it's not a definitive, which is why I want to give him another season. Mbappe, for me, he can only go up from here, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I think Mbappe has got another level or 2 he can hit with the right management and the right team.
Mhm.
I don't think Mane's got that. So it becomes a thing of, right, Mane's where he is now. Can he get any better? My answer is no / I don't know.
Mhm.
I've got Mbappe, who's 7 years younger,
Mhm.
not far off Mane, even though I don't think he's as good as Mane right now.
Nope, you're right.
But comes to Liverpool and starts playing under Klopp with Salah and whoever else we get, Virgil and them lot. For me, his level goes up to a point where he could be 23 or 24 and be at Mane's level right now, and then still have another further 4 years where he could be climbing higher. So
Yes,
that's what makes it different.
Just one question I want to ask you, Drift, because I know I've been there for a while. How many goals do you think? Because you obviously I was listening earlier on, and you was talking about the whole Ronaldo and Messi thing. How many goals they'll get in the Prem? 2 questions: how many goals do you think Mbappe would get next season if he came? And do you genuinely, hand on your heart, feel that Mane there is no decline?
The Mane 100%. I don't feel like it's a decline at all. I genuinely just believe he's tired, and I feel like sometimes mentally you need to check out for a little while as well when you've been playing so intense and so well driven for such a long time, carrying the weight of Senegal as well. Remember, that's why I didn't have a break playing for his country. Certain time you just need a mental checkout. Sometimes I actually have a nap during the day to reset my brain. Real talk. Like I'm not even that tired, but I'm sick of being awake. And I'm like, I need to just have a nap and check out for a second and do it. So I feel like that's what football's like as well. It's mental, not just physical. With Mbappe, I'd probably say in his first season, he maybe get 15 to 20 goals because there's going to be an adaptation to the Premier League that I don't think would just happen like that. It could do, but not necessarily because he's going to go from playing at a team.
Okay, and then just to go off your point, let's now do goals and assists because you like to use that. Let's go off that. So how many goals and assists?
I'll probably say in his first season he'll probably get about 25 goal contributions.
I would say he'll get about 40. You know, honestly.
You think so? In his first
40 in his, because he gets assists. He's more of an assist man. You know, Mbappe is a great finisher, but he likes to get assists. Whereas for me, I look at it and I'm like, I think first season, especially the sort of the unknown, he would kill the league. I think he would absolutely rip it.
Again, I might get slated for this. I don't think he's a great finisher.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I actually don't think I think a lot of the fan base seem to think he's some clinical wonder kid. He's a phenomenal footballer for his age, but he's not clinical. Like Haaland's clinical. Haaland's one shot, one kill. I've seen games where Mbappe has 4 or 5 chances and doesn't slot. He is very similar to Salah in that aspect. But because he keeps on going, he'll get the numbers. So don't get me wrong. I'd love Mbappe, but I think people think Mbappe comes in and he changes the dynamic of how clinical we are and how wasteful we've been. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that really changes with Mbappe. He's more clinical than Firmino. Like, there's no 2 ways about that. But again, I don't see Mbappe playing through the middle for us either.
He's similar to Firmino, as in he's not a great goal scorer, but a scorer of great goal.
No, he's way more clinical than Firmino.
No, but what I'm saying is Firmino's goals are special. That's why they stay in your mind, like Mbappe. Mbappe scores special goals and they stay in your mind. But you're right, he's not clinical where one shot, one goal kind of thing.
But I think having Mbappe in the team, I genuinely think that chance creation, that XG, would go up so much, so drastically that the amount of goals that will be included and scored from the likes of Mbappe, or so you're saying, for example, Mbappe is not a great goal scorer, but the chance he would almost be a much better version of Werner, basically, theoretically. That's what we're buying, isn't it? You're buying, well, partly he's actually a better player as well. But like the fact that he's still very, very rapid, he's got the skills, because Werner's not a dead, like we know, like obviously we like to ban him, but he's got all the attributes, but obviously Werner just can't hit a barn door. And whereas Mbappe, he needs 2 or 3 chances. So I just think the amount of chaos and havoc that he would create is going to be drastic for Liverpool, and it will allow them to go almost back to the whole Brendan Rodgers days, when it would be like four goals in a game and that, and 5 goals in a game. But the defense, will obviously Van Dijk back, will be just there's no coming through that, because that guy's beautiful, bro. Anyway,
you know what I think Mbappe would bring more than anything, which is kind of what we need back, is fear factor. I think that would be the biggest thing about signing Mbappe. But not even just to the team that are playing at the time, even the fan base. Like, can you imagine how rattled Chelsea, Man City, and Man United fans would be if they saw Mbappe holding the scarf after signing for Liverpool? They will be so rattled. The fear that it would put through the whole league, that would be what I would love about getting that player more than anything. And then on game day, when you see Salah, Mbappe, Mane, Thiago, Van Dijk, Flacco, just fuck off. There's no point. Like, it would be like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? You get what I'm saying?
But last year, I would say I'm fully on the whole milking thing. Get the FSG whole milking thing. I want Firmino. I want Mbappe. I want another. I don't know about Bissouma. I like Bissouma a lot, but I don't know how he will fit in for Liverpool. And I'm good, like, because we've got Konate, and I'm good with that. But listen, bruv, that was a great chat. Listen,
bruv, always a pleasure, bro.
Always, man. But in a bit, man. Love.
Yes, bruv. Take care, bro.
Same to you, bro.
I tell you what's mad as well. With us knowing that we aren't going to actually do the whole spend 200 million on Mbappe or whatever it would be, I'm getting more and more on the Rafinha team. I can't lie. Because I know it's a way more realistic. You know,
I don't think it's realistic though. I think everyone thinks it's realistic.
It's way more realistic. It's more realistic than Sancho, and it's more realistic than Mbappe or Haaland.
Yeah, but Leeds don't need to sell Rafinha, and then are we going to overpay for a player?
Yeah,
we're not going to
60 mil for Rafinha.
No. You're not hearing a question, Drift. Would we, the club, pay for a player? And not would we do it? We would. Like, Rafinha's cold, but are the club going to value a player at 40 million and then pay 60 million for the player? They're not.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like there's a possibility that maybe Leeds would accept half up front. Maybe where Dortmund would.
They don't need to sell.
No, but if the player makes it clear he wants to go, it's a little bit harder for them to deal. Because
would you be brave enough to walk into Bielsa's office and tell him you want to leave when he told you no? I know I wouldn't.
I'll wait till he's sitting down, innit?
What, for him to spring up from the squat position and get his translator to cuss you out while he's punching you up? Bum part.
That's what will give man leverage, bro. I know that.
Can you imagine, bro, when someone's just screaming at you in a language you don't understand, and then the translator's just sitting there calm and saying, Rafinha, he's not happy with you. And he looks back over at him. He said, why would you disgrace the club like this and betray me? You're not leaving, he said. That's what it'd be.
You know what's even more mad, yeah? Shout out to Bielsa. During the summer holidays, man actually went and started to coach the under-12s at a school that's near where he lives. Just went round to help out. I'm never gonna lie, that's levels, bro. Yeah. Imagine being in secondary school in year 8 and Bielsa just rocks up and takes one of your football sessions. Like, what? But he's a G for that still. I'm not even gonna lie. That's gangster.
Definitely. Right, next caller. Abs, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Now listen, last time I came on, I dissed a couple of your ballers. Today, man's coming on here to defend one of your ballers. One man who's been getting a load of disrespect, Bobby Firmino, one of the last technical ballers to ever play the beautiful game.
You know what? Take up the full screen for this. Go for it, bro.
You see scrubs in the Premier League.
This is no longer Kop-Ish. This is Abish now. Yeah, this is Abish. Take it away, bro.
I'll say this now and I'll say it again. If Eden Hazard was Brazilian, he'd be Firmino. If Dennis Bergkamp was Brazilian, he'd be Firmino. Firmino is one of the techiest ballers to ever play in the Prem. I genuinely don't believe how people don't understand how good this guy is. And no disrespect to Salah, but without Firmino, Salah and Mane do not have the careers they've had at Liverpool. No cap. Firmino is one of the most heavily disrespected footballers the Prem's ever seen. And don't get me wrong, Yara's a good footballer, right? But Firmino he's in a different stratosphere to him. You're seeing scrubs like the Samba Dan James, Vinicius Jr., and the only two ballers you've got in that Brazil team are Firmino and Neymar. Who else is there that's balling out? Trust me, Firmino is one of the most techie ballers you'll ever see. And people who don't realize that don't love watching football. I'm sorry, I don't even care.
What a fantastic show.
You just made Callum whole month, right? Like he's peaked now. Yeah, it's only downhill for Cal from here on.
No,
now.
do you know? Shall I tell you what it is? Yeah, I can speak to Liverpool fans and they appreciate what Bobby's done. But you see, when I hear it, when I hear it from a rival fan, it hits different. It just hits different. Where is it? There it is.
He's so techy. I love Firmino.
Harry, how can you dislike this man? How can you not rate? Look at the smile. How can you not rate the man?
He's so techy. He's honestly so techy. I told you, if Dennis Bergkamp was Brazilian, he'd be Firmino. No cap. Also, but you see, this brings me back to my next point in that people are so obsessed with goals and assists. So prime example, Fernando Torres. Fernando Torres, for me, before he came to Chelsea, at one point was the best striker in the world. Everyone talks about Salah and all his numbers. You see Torres, he wasn't doing it against Lewis Dunk and flipping Maguire and scrubs like that. He was doing it against Vidic, Ferdinand, Terry. Sol Campbell left at that point, didn't he? He left Arsenal. He went somewhere.
Zamora buried Sol Campbell. Zamora buried.
But you hear what I'm saying, though? He was doing it against Don centre-backs, Fernando Torres. So based on that, and based on the fact that Torres as well just had too much sauce, he had the Spanish flair as well. You saw that guy. He packed Man United. He packed Real Madrid. He packed Barca as well. That guy was everything you'd want in a striker. Unfortunately, injuries hit him. So based on that, would you take a prime Fernando Torres or a prime Mo Salah?
Oh,
you have to take into context, because Salah for me is a very good player, but I think the problem with Salah is that I was kidding about the pyramid Kalou thing, but he's a bit too one-dimensional. You get it. If you deep it right, when he comes against a low block, he doesn't look as good as when he has time and space. Whereas Torres, time and space, so in tight spaces, he can do anything. He makes things happen like this. That Torres-Gerrard partnership was underrated, bro, for real.
All right, I'm gonna go against the grain on this one. I'm picking Salah. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to say why.
Okay.
Torres was brilliant. Torres was absolutely brilliant. But Torres, he had a prime Gerrard behind him in it. And it was kind of a cheat code because prime Gerrard was just something else. And you see Mo, I think he's more versatile than Torres as well. Like Torres for me is way more clinical. But Torres could go missing sometimes as well. Whereas Salah, now hear me out, Drift. Hear me out. When I say go missing, I'm not talking about for periods. I'm talking about during a game, he might not be that involved in the game, and when we might need him now and again. I think he's a player that was stupidly clinical, and he could beat a man as well. Like no two ways about it. But as an overall player, and what Salah does for the team, I think you could put Salah in that team back then, and Salah still gets the same numbers. And I don't know.
Torres in our team now.
See, I don't know.
Prime Torres in this team, bro.
He was too much, man.
I hear what you're saying.
Into 10 and then play Torres up, bro. Oh,
but here's the thing: we don't even play over 10 now, and Salah's still getting these sort of numbers.
You know what? I think it's a really hard discussion because I adore both players. Both were sensational for Liverpool, what they've done well, but they're different in the way of the reason why I think Torres would go missing during games, though, Cal, is because Torres was actually a traditional number 9 where he was allowed to, so to speak,
Very true.
go missing from the game because that was his only job, was to come alive in the box. Do you get what I mean? Being a right-sided forward, Salah's job is to get involved in build-up play as well as be in the final third as well. So he's naturally going to be more involved. So it is quite a... I know what Abs is saying in terms of the legend of the two at the club. Which one do you prefer? But because they're so different, it's quite a hard comparison for me to make. I can't lie. Like, it's easier for me to do Torres with Fowler, Owen, Suarez than it is for me to do Salah or Mane. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's hard because it's different.
Yeah, they're different.
I love both. I can't lie. If I had to just pick one, you know, I don't even know if I can, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I can. That is a hard decision. That is a hard decision, man. That's mad. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Great question, bro.
A lot of people, it's what I've been saying. Like, I know I've even got fed up with Firmino up front, so there's no way I'm going to sit here and act like I haven't. Like, I've come in here after games where he's missed 2 or 3 chances. I'm like, Cal, Firmino was a striker. I'm done. Like, I'm done with it. I can't take it anymore. Like, he's missing sitters. But as a baller, Cal knows I've always backed him, and I will always back him. And he is, like Ab said it perfect, like the techiness of the player. I don't think people get how skillful Firmino is. And when I sent you that, when I tagged you in that clip, Cal, as I said, you still haven't sent me the receipt for the boxes because I know you changed them about twice. When I was watching that back, I was just like, how can people say Firmino is not a good footballer? You can have a problem with him as a striker as long as you want, because I've even got that problem. But as a footballer, how can you ever have a problem with this guy?
Yeah, it's
There's
quality.
levels to this shit when it comes to pure football. And he's one of the last dying breed of Brazilians even. I truly believe Brazil ain't even producing Brazilians anymore. And he's one of the last breed of that. Like, you know what I mean? Brazil have got to get back on the train, man. The Coutinho, Firmino, Neymar, them man, they're dying out a bit. Where's these techie Brazilian ballers?
You say that though. Rafinha.
Yeah.
There's man coming through, bro. Trust me.
New to this thing, you get me? Like,
there's a couple man coming through, man.
But remember, he's still 25. So
yeah, true.
Like, where's the 18, 19, 20-year-old Firminos and Kittel? I need to know where them young bucks are. Brazil, they've got to start producing Brazilians again, bro, because they're becoming a bit European with their style of football themselves. Nah, man, go back to what made you who you were. You were the techiest team on the planet, and it was just that skill.
Well, remember, they're coming over from Brazil younger, aren't they? And usually going to like Ukraine or Porto or somewhere like that.
Yeah, Russia. So, that's what I'm saying. They're becoming very Europeanized in terms of hard work and effort. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, man, keep it techie, man. That's what made you what you were, bro. Like, Brazilians were the best footballers on the planet without a doubt. It didn't even matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, who's the best player in the world? I bet he's Brazilian. That was just the thing, innit? So, I'm just saying, man.
Very true.
Roberto Carlos, and what they've done, they've replaced them with scrubs like Vinicius Jr. Oh dear.
We say that as a Liverpool fan, I can't even cuss Vinicius because he tore us a new one in the first leg.
Yeah, but bro, that's what was bad about it, because Chelsea showed he's not that good, bro.
Well, we know he's not. We shouldn't have
let him do that to us, bro. We shouldn't have. I don't know what we were doing. Chelsea made him look as average as it gets, bro. Like,
Chelsea made Real Madrid look average. That's the problem.
Exactly.
We should have done that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what was so annoying about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There we
go.
Yeah.
Bro. I knew it was coming.
Congratulations. Well played.
I knew it was coming.
No, it was for the City fans and the Gooners, chatting about Aubameyang, the Gabonese and Gog up top, man. Man just had to come rub it in. But yeah, so obviously today was a bit of a light-hearted call. I think you probably thought man was going to come in and roast someone. I had to defend Bobby because he's too disrespected and too techie. And once he leaves, people will appreciate how good he is when we've got flipping scrubs like Dan James, Werner, Sterling, them just pay some power merch and you just run up and down, head down, Sonic the Hedgehog vibes, That's so dead.
No, it's facts. It's facts. Bro. Always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure, man. One of the best Chelsea fans we know, bro.
Yeah, man. Big up,
bro. Take care, man. I'm gonna bring my
hedgehog, man.
Yeah. Our next caller, Demo Dre.
Yo, what's
Hey.
Man in
First and
man
foremost,
of the hour. Well done,
first
brother.
and foremost, Demo. Not gonna go into all of it, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much. You know what you done.
I have no
Thank
idea
you.
what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. God
Nah,
bless
man.
you, bro. And from the bottom of my heart, it's so, so appreciated, bro. Like humbling as well. So thank
Nah,
you.
it's good, bro. It's good. All right,
Thank you.
so here it goes, guys. I've been trying to do this for like 3 weeks now. Haven't gotten the chance, but I just realized what the biggest sporting injustice in football is, right? And I'm going to try to use my 2 minutes wisely. I am so glad that you guys decided to keep Harry Wilson instead of selling him and put him on loan, because for me, Harry Wilson has not made a Premier League debut for Liverpool, and that is the biggest injustice in football in history. I'm not even joking. I've seen Harry Wilson grow up in front of my eyes because, like I said, I watch a lot of under 23. And he just grew and grew and grew. How can you score 32 goals and you get 14 assists in the under 23s, and then Cameron Brannigan can make his Premier League debut. Ben Woodburn can make his Premier League debut. Sterling, Jordan Ibe, all of these guys who he captained, all got a chance to make their debuts, and he did not get a chance to prove himself. What you do, you reward him by sending him out on loan. He went to Derby, he got 18 goals and 6 assists. Bodied it up. And listen, he put one past Manchester United and did the whole 5 times thing. Like even for that alone, you need to reward him, bro. He gave them the 5 times at Old Trafford. Right? So they said, all right, he did that in the championship. Can you do it in the league? He played for Bournemouth, a dead team. He got 7 goals and he got two assists. And he even got a player of the month for them because I think he scored against Manchester City with a free kick one time and all of that stuff. Right? And then he came to Cardiff, like just the season just gone. And I know Cal says that he scores in purple patches and he got a hat trick, blah, blah, blah. For me, it doesn't matter. He got 7 goals and 12 assists in that season. It's almost identical to what Harvey Elliott did, right? And everybody's like, yo, give Harvey Elliott, he's younger, give him a chance to prove himself, da, 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 da. I am all for Harvey Elliott. But my thing is, why is it that Harry Wilson cannot get a chance to prove himself? I mean, if he gets a chance and it doesn't work out, you sell him, you do whatever. But at least he deserves the chance, bro, to prove himself. I was like this for Nat Phillips. I was arguing for Nat Phillips to be given a chance. I remember Drifty saying, "Oh, but he chested a guy." I was on.
He did though, bro. He did though, bro. But
yeah. So for me, what does he offer us? Like ever since Coutinho left, what Harry Wilson offers us is long shots, right? He offers us long shots, he offers us free kicks, and a lot of people like James Ward-Prowse. And I think he's very similar to James Ward-Prowse. He doesn't just score us free kicks and long shots, right? But he offers us a lot, and if we decided to give him the chance, I am sure he would prove himself, bro. I am absolutely sure he would prove himself. The season when Manchester City won the league, we were ranked 14th when it comes to long shooting in the league. 14th. And Manchester City were ranked first. Because we have nobody that shoots from outside the box. While we have Harry Wilson banging it in, and he was like he scored the most long shots from outside the box in the championship. Right? So give the guy a chance. That's all I'm saying.
You know what, Demo? Can't argue with it.
Oh no, because what you're saying is true. You're not even saying he should start. You're not saying he's 100% good enough. You're just saying if you put in all that hard work, you put in all that hard graft, as you said, captain, not for the man who's made it further than he did.
Yes.
Then how can you have not been allowed one opportunity to prove yourself the way they were?
I get that we don't play a 10, but I mean he can do what Shaqiri does.
Agree.
You get what I'm saying? And if we're crying for Harvey Elliott, because he's younger. I mean, when Harry Wilson was the same age, he was doing more, and he didn't get a chance. You get what I'm saying? So at least give the guy a chance. That's it.
No, and you know what? I don't
I have
think
no
anybody,
rebuttal to that.
and no, I don't think anybody can actually argue. And this isn't being disrespectful to the players because they're better players than him. But what Shaqiri, Naby, and Ox have offered in the last, say, 12 to 18 months with availability and performances, there's no way anybody could ever say that Wilson wouldn't have contributed more if he played. I know you can't actually guarantee anything that's never happened before, but I don't really think that I'm going too far. And I think what I'm saying is very level-headed, that in the last 12 to 18 months, Harry Wilson would have contributed more to the team than those three have. So
yeah, I don't necessarily say Ox. Ox has actually, he was our, was it not
in the last 18 months, Carl. He's only made like 10 appearances.
I think 1920 Ox was our third top goal scorer.
Yeah, he was our leading midfield scorer.
I don't even remember him. Oh no, he was. Yeah, you're right.
1920 was our third top goal scorer.
Naby and Shaqiri then.
Yes,
Wilson would have offered more than those two have.
Yeah, here's the thing with Wilson. I think if he was going to get a chance, it would have happened this season or 1920 maybe. I don't think he's going to get a chance now. And I fully agree. He should have had a chance by now. I just think at this stage, I don't think he will. And the only way he gets a chance is if we sell Shaqiri and we don't bring in anyone else. But if we do that, then the poor guy's going to have so much pressure on his shoulders to deliver. I don't know if it's going to be helpful for his career.
I agree with you, Cal, and that's why I'm telling you that this is the biggest sporting injustice in football, bro. This is criminal, almost criminal, bro. I mean, when he plays for Wales, he does well too. It's not like he's not playing well.
No, he's arguably Wales' most important player at the moment, if I'm being honest. I'm actually looking at him and I'm thinking Liverpool are probably licking their lips because he'll probably add 10, 15 mil to his value if he has a good tournament. So, Liverpool right now, they're thinking, go bust it up for Wales and then we can shut you off for 25 mil or whatever.
That's what they're hoping for. I think they're hoping for a few players to have good tournaments and then we say, well, you see that 30 million you wanted to pay? That's now 23 million.
Yeah, Wilson will get shot if he has a good tournament.
All right, guys. So that's all I had to say. Just give the guy.
And again, and obviously we're not going to talk about thingy because it's a private matter. But bro, bless you, man.
Yeah.
Yo, you're good, bro. It's good. Big up.
Nah, it's appreciated, man. You have no idea. Humbling.
All right, man. Big up.
Thank you, bro. You take care.
I tell you what's kind of weird as well. A guy sorry for forgetting your name. A guy hit me up on social and was letting me know about the Rafinha situation. And apparently, I don't know how true the article is, but apparently they are quite interested in Harry Wilson. And Liverpool are seeing if they can figure out a way to add him in the deal, similar to what we did when we got Jota and we let them have Hova as kind of a bit of a thing. I'll be honest with you, as much as I do want Wilson to be given a chance at some level, I feel like it would make perfect sense if Leeds are like, okay, well, it softens the blow that you give us this good player that we think will be good in our team. And if we gave them Wilson like 30 mil for Rafinha, everyone wins, bro.
Yeah, I just don't see Leeds doing it.
If he has a good tournament and then they start to feel a bit better about wanting him as well, I can see Wilson plus 30 mil for Rafinha.
The thing is, though, Bielsa's very particular with the type of players he wants.
Well, you don't think Wilson could play in a Bielsa system?
I don't know.
I think he could.
I don't know.
Because he's techie. And I think that will help.
He is. But is he going to run like Rafinha and all them lot run? Because don't get me wrong, Rafinha's techie and he's tricky and he's got good ability. You cannot sleep on his work ethic, though.
No, I know. But you know
hard.
what? I think just because Wilson don't have pace, he's still a very hard worker. Do you get what I mean? He just don't have pace. That's all.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But he still works hard and runs all game. Ward-Prowse is a hard worker. He ain't got no pace, but he works hard. Do you know what I mean? Always constantly running or whatever. So
very true. Very true. Right, we're gonna have our last caller on for this evening. In fact, two callers. We're gonna have two callers on. Cal's Neto Army. Oh, that mic, bro.
You there, bro? Bro?
Is it okay now?
Yes, all good.
Yeah,
now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
How
What's
you
it
doing, bro?
called? How's it going, guys? Long time no see, man. Long time.
Has been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Shout out quickly before we start. Shout out to Matt, man. He's a blessing, man. He's a blessing, and
Definitely.
love to him and his wife, man. So what's it called? Let me get started onto the things. You man are gonna hate me for this, innit? But you know what? It's not a show without Kall-In Army going in for being a bit controversial. This Florian Newhouse and what's it called? This talk, and I'm not on this talk because I'm thinking, is Florian Newhouse even better than James Ward-Prowse? And I'm thinking, no, he's not better than James Ward-Prowse because if you see it, James Ward-Prowse is probably a better passer. He's definitely a much better playmaker. He's a better set piece taker. He's a better runner. He's more energetic. He's a more hard worker. What does Florian Newhouse have over flipping? What's it called? James Ward-Prowse over his name? You seriously can't tell me a single thing that James Ward-Prowse and Florian Newhouse is better than James Ward-Prowse.
I can tell you.
You'd struggle to find him.
I wouldn't, you know. All right. I think he's strong on the ball. I think he's quicker than James Ward-Prowse. I think he's more press resistant. He's better at dribbling. He's better in the air as well. That's 5. I could do more.
I'll quickly shut down 2 of those. 2 of those. What's it called? You said good in the air and what other one? Quicker. First and foremost, I've watched Newhouse, and I'm telling you this right now. The guy moves like a truck, mate.
He's fast. He's fast. Ward-Prowse. So Ward-Prowse ain't quick.
No, Ward-Prowse is quicker than him. Ward-Prowse. I'll give you some context. You guys remember him? You know Jay Spearing?
Yeah. Don't compare no.
Jay Spearing with one leg. That's how quick man Florian Newhouse is. I'm not even taking the piss. I watched the guy. He's a good passer, but he isn't quick, man. I'm telling you, he's not quick. He's not quicker than James Ward-Prowse.
He was even slow. I don't. Spearing wasn't slow, was he?
No, he wasn't that slow, but he wasn't that quick either. No,
you could get about the pitch though. That was the one thing about Spearing. He could get about the pitch.
Nah. He had good balance. That's the only thing I'll say about Jay Spearing. The one thing he had was good balance. He was never quick.
But like, he walks with his left and his right. You don't fall over. You get me? Like,
nah, he had good balance. I'll say that. I'll say that was good one. He could walk. He could walk normally. That's what I'll say. No limp around that man. You get me? But man could not run. That's one thing I'll say. So that's what I'm saying.
So is this a case of you rate James Ward-Prowse and you think we should go in for him, or you don't rate Newhouse at all?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think James Ward-Prowse is probably top 10 midfielders in the Premier League, and he's so underrated. It's unbelievable. You couldn't name me 10 midfielders in the Premier League that are better than him, but you couldn't also. But at the same time, Florian Newhouse, he's overrated himself. The only thing he's done this season is that pass against Inter Milan, which I can't lie, is a world-class pass. Only a few people in the world can see it. But you can also say, show me 10 or 5 clips of him doing that. You won't. It's only one clip. So I don't know this Florian Newhouse thing. I just think it's overrated and overhyped. I think us as British fans or like teams that are follow British teams, I think we overrate people that are abroad. Florian Newhouse, Patson Daka, Daniel Malen.
I agree with
we overrate them so highly, and I'm thinking, are you seriously telling me that? Let me ask you a question, guys. Who do you think is better, Daniel Malen or Ollie Watkins?
I don't know. You know,
that's a tricky. As an overall player, I'd probably go Daniel, but as a finisher, I'd probably go Watkins.
You see, it's very hard as well. It's very hard. You can't even separate the two. It's only just because Malen is a bit more. He can play on the left. He gives you a bit more versatility. That's the only reason why you give him ahead of Malen. But then, that's what I mean. Why do we overrate players that are abroad? We need to start sticking. We need to show respect. There's a lot of
why, because they feel exotic. And everybody goes on holiday to get the palm trees and the sun and do you get what I mean? And so
that's what I mean.
From another league, they feel like that. They feel like, like I want some of that. But you're right. There's people on your doorstep that are probably better or as good, but you don't think that because you're used to watching them every week, so you're bored of them now, innit? They don't have that kind of same feeling. Like, yeah, you're right.
God. Yeah, I'm good because I don't know whether you guys think Florian Newhouse is better than James Ward-Prowse, but I don't think it's even close. That's the worst part. I don't think it's close.
I think he's better, but here's the thing. I think he's better, but I don't know if he's the level of midfielder that I'd want right now. Although I do rate him, I want to make that clear. I rate Florian Neuhaus. I do rate him. It's just this feels like a signing we would have made when we were chasing
in
top
16,
four.
17. Yeah. You're 100%.
Whereas even with Ward-Prowse, I wouldn't be happy if we. I'll reword that. I wouldn't be over the moon if we signed Ward-Prowse. I'd be thinking Ward-Prowse, like this, like he's just good. He's not.
I'll give you a stat about. I'll give you a stat about Ward-Prowse. The guy has got more goals and assists last season than any Liverpool midfielder, all Liverpool midfielders combined for the last 3 years. That's one thing I'll say about him.
Okay, no, that's fair enough.
Still,
again, Drift.
That's quite impressive. Like as a stat, that's an impressive stat still.
And another stat that you guys might have not known: the guy is the only Premier League player in history to play 2 consecutive seasons, to play every single minute of 2 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
76 games.
I knew that was
that guy has availability like you wouldn't believe.
The only thing is, though, don't you think because we've got Thiago, it would be a little redundant to have Ward-Prowse because he's like a budget version of Thiago in that way? Like, I think at Southampton, what he does is brilliant for them. But, like, for example, I agree with you. See a team like Man United, people can laugh. A team like Arsenal, they could do with a Ward-Prowse in their midfield. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think with us having Thiago, I don't think we need a Ward-Prowse.
I don't think he would be a good fit for Arsenal because they have Thomas Partey, and I think also they should go for like a bit more of a holding midfielder because Thomas Partey, I think they signed Thomas Partey at the worst time because they had Granit Xhaka, they had Dani Ceballos. They should have gone for a more attacking player. Maybe Hussein Aouar would have been more better for them because let's not forget when Arsenal were in their wretched form in December, they were 15th, but then from December till now they would have finished in the top 4 because of that, because they would have had a number 10 or attacking midfielder. So if you take out Thomas Partey, who has been injury prone, and you put in a Hussein Aouar for them, they'd probably not. I'm not saying they would be challenged for the top 4, but you could say they would have been in Europe this season. That's what I'd say.
Fair enough. I think you make some valid points, but I think you do make some valid points. As I said, I do think we could aim higher than Florian Neuhaus, but
fact.
At the same time, though, what I will say, not to sound like he's the be all and end all and he always gets it right, but I've got to a point with Klopp now. You see, if Klopp chooses a player, I give that player at least a season because Klopp's proven so many times since he's been at Liverpool that he knows how to spot a player and how to make it work.
I'll see about that. But then there's another 2 players I wanted to quickly talk about, but I don't know if I'll have time. But I'll just quickly run through them. The first player, I don't know whether I'm going to get hate for it or love for it, Nat Phillips. You see Nat Phillips here, I don't want to go on a tangent about him in it.
No, don't say anything bad about you. Okay,
okay, I rate him. But I don't think he's good enough, man. I think what we saw from Nat Phillips is the best we're ever going to see of him. And I'm not even being ingenuous or anything disrespectful. And Demo Dre, I know you're watching this. Don't come for me, please, man. Don't come for me. You know what I'm trying to say? I ain't trying to catch corn, man. Allow it. But I'm being honest, man. I'm being honest when I say this. I don't think Nat Phillips is that good, man. Like we had a lot of moments in that season that we just passed that Nat Phillips was getting roasted, you know. And we're just lucky that the other team just couldn't finish off their dinner. Remember what Nat Phillips did against Southampton when he got absolutely spun by that guy that I can't even pronounce his name. Remember when he got absolutely spun by a few Rai Rashford and these guys? He's not quick enough.
I also remember the games where he's clearing the ball off the line and heading it away, and he's the only one who at the time was leading our defense. So I think it's two sides. My thing is, if you were to say to me, Nat Phillips is your starter next season, I'd say, whoa, slow your roll. But you see if he's in the rotation, I'm good with that.
But then that's the problem, Cal. I don't think he'd be happy with that because I think it's like you have a kid here. If you give them sweets, you think next day they're going to take vegetables from you? The man there taking vegetable. Daddy, where's the sweets? I want the sugar. That's what they want, mate. They want to get on that. They want to get on that sugar high, mate. That's we've given Nat Phillips the sugar. You think the guy's gonna go back to eating salad and that? Less of that, big man. That's what he's gonna be saying to Klopp. You think Klopp is gonna say to him?
I just need to adjust this, yeah. Yes, I did put him.
That was wild drift. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
No.
You know I back you in war, bro.
If you name me a defender that had a better impact on the team's outcome, because here's the mad thing on the big six, and shout out them, man, because I love all them, man.
When you put Philip.
When we're talking about players during that discussion, a lot of Chelsea players were getting thrown in the mix. And I'm sorry, if they'd have lost to Man City on the final day, they had a shit season. Nobody told me anything. They lost to Man City in that Champions League final. They had a shit season. One win doesn't put players in that team all of a sudden. So we're talking about impact then, right? Because a lot of the arguments were Kante this, Kante that, Rudiger. And I'm not saying that at the end of that season, they didn't have a couple of proper top quality world-class games. Rudiger for the last 6-7 games was amazing. But the point is, what about the whole year? So we're just going to let impact go in there. Nobody had a better defensive impact on the team, apart from Diaz, than Nat Phillips. I will argue that with anybody till the end of the day. We got because of Nat Phillips.
I'll disagree only because that I wouldn't say they had a bigger impact, but I think they had a better individual season. I would say also called Wesley Fofana had a better individual season. I think he was clear of Nat Phillips. And I'm not just saying ability-wise.
Fofana's the only one I agree with Fofana, but other than that,
not just that, I think Johnny Evans had a bigger impact on the centre-back partnership. I'm not saying Johnny Evans had a great season. I'm just saying people that had a better season than Nat Phillips. I think John Stones had a better season.
Johnny Evans, even though he did have a good season, he had Fofana and Soyuncu next to him. Nat Phillips was carrying Reece Williams for a lot of the time.
But then
do you know how difficult it is to be inexperienced and then carry a kid with you through the game?
Yeah,
I think people forget that as well, you know.
Yeah, I rate him. He's a leader. I'll say that, but we have to admit that just because Johnny Evans had Soyuncu or Fofana ahead of around him, he was the leader of that centre back partnership too. So we have to say that as well. He was the one that was dictating. He's the one that was dictating, saying to Fofana, "Get there." Well, Soyuncu, watch your man. That's why when Evans came back, usually Rodgers doesn't allow for a 3-back. At the end of that season, they were playing 3 at the back because they couldn't drop either single one of them. They had to put Johnny Evans in that defense. They had to.
Yeah, that is a good point. I won't argue with that. But
so I'm just saying, also, Nat Phillips was our best centre back this season. I'll rate that. Yes, Nat Phillips was our best centre back this season. But at the end of the day, who was the centre backs that he has to go up against?
Who? Nat Phillips?
Yeah. For us to be, he was the best centre back at Liverpool this season. Nobody's gonna say yes or no. But he was a centre back that could rival him.
I know, but then again, I guess that's the same kind of being disingenuous to the performances. Look, I actually picked Fofana in the end, but I wanted to put the case forward because for impact, I think it's gone under the radar just how important Nat Phillips was for us last season. Like, it really has. And just because he's not a glamorous name, people just laugh it off. And I'm like, no, hold on a minute. This guy was ridiculously impactful in our team. He had 1 or 2 dodgy moments, but he's still only 23, learning his trade, inexperienced himself. Ain't like he's some 29-year-old veteran. He's still quite young himself. He's only had 1/2 of a season of senior football on loan in Germany. Like, you got to, do you know what I mean? And he came in and he did his thing, man. And whether you think he's good enough or not, I agree. He's not starting lineup. But I think he's the best 4th or 5th choice you could ask for. Like he's a brilliant player at just coming in and doing what needs to be done, man. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think it's very disingenuous that there's people that aren't Liverpool fans, especially, but they're like, who? Are you crazy? You know what? I would have took Phillips to the Euros. Tell me who how England do not have 5 centre backs better than that Phillips when Maguire's injured. No
Konsa is number one. Konsa
is better than that.
Konsa's better than him. I would argue, and I'm not saying he's better. I would say Ben White's better than him. I would say Lewis Dunk is better than him. I'll
give you Lewis Dunk. I wouldn't give you Ben. I wouldn't give you White just yet.
I would say Ben White is a ball playing centre back, and he's good alongside a leader, aka Ezri Konsa. Tomori's better than him.
No, but again, a lot of these people are technically.
I would say if John Stones without brain farts is a better centre back than him as well.
I'm just talking about defending. I'm not talking about technically. Technically, these guys are all. Tomori's better than him. Technically, Ben White's better than him. All of that.
But
I'm talking about all out defending. I'm talking about stop the ball going in the back of the net, last ditch defending, especially if you're playing a back three. Phillips, I would have took to the Euro. That's just me personally.
That respect. And what's it called? Quickly, last play before I have to jump off because I have to go somewhere. Bobby Firmino. I heard Abs where he's saying respect to Abs, but I'm being honest to you guys. What's it called?
Don't, Cal. No.
I have to be honest. I don't want Cal. Cal, I'm not changing my name today because I know you're gonna come for the smokies later. Man. I'm being honest right now. Firmino has to get sold, man. I'm not having this. People saying we need to keep Bobby Firmino for sentiment and he's a baller and this and that. He's had 2 seasons of not just average seasons. He's had 2 poor seasons as a striker, and nobody could tell me anything. And the worst part is Klopp is a stubborn manager. He's never going to change his system. So if he's never going to change his system and he's always going to play Firmino as a number 9, a false 9, you can't give me a reason why to keep him, because he's not even, forget a backup striker. Forget up a starting centre forward. He's not even good enough to be a backup in centre forward, in my opinion.
Cal's not army.
I'm taking that out.
You know what happened, Cal? You stretched to get the cereal, and Neto just came running and just ribs your Clark.
All right, this is what I will say about Firmino. So last season, it wasn't very good at all. The season before 1920, I thought the first half of the season, I thought it was very good. I thought he was one of our best players first half of the season, up until maybe around January, February, and then he fell off. It seems like he was poor that season because, remember, in March, the season stopped for like 3 months. So it seemed as though he was poor from March all the way through to October.
Yeah.
In reality, he was poor in March. Maybe not even poor in March. He just wasn't very good in March. And then when we came back after the pandemic, that's when he fell off. So this whole narrative of him having 2 poor back-to-back seasons isn't correct. He was very good in 1920, especially in the first half of the season. The thing is, I'm not going to sit here and deny that we need another centre forward. But you see this whole selling Firmino, that can't run with me. Like, he can play as a 10. In worst case scenarios, he could play as an 8. And worst case scenarios, again, he could play as a false 9. And he's a player who would be good in the squad as well.
But then, Cal, you're basing that off on Klopp changing to a 4-2-3-1. So I'm saying if he doesn't change to a 4-2-3-1, what do we do with Firmino? And don't forget, we have John W. Henry as an owner. We don't have no Sheikh Mansour. We don't have no Roman Abramovich. We don't have no, we don't have no billionaires around this club. We got some broke man, some broke hedge fund owners. I don't give a crap about this club owning our club. So you're telling me that John W. Henry will spend bags on bags on all of these, man. I'm telling you, under our model, we have to sell him.
All right,
there's absolutely no waiting.
This is what I will say. If we stick to 4-3-3, then we have to have a conversation about Firmino.
That's what I mean, because listen, if we're going to say as a camp, is Bobby Firmino top 10 cams in world football? No, he's not. He's not top 10 cams in world football.
How many cams are there in world football, though?
That's what I mean. Even if there's not even there's a lot. I will say that there is a lot of cams.
I don't think there's
most of them are inverted
anymore.
I would say there is 10, but they're more inverted, or they get changed around into 8s and 10s. But if you're telling me natural number 10s, there's a lot of natural number 10s. I would argue Felipe Coutinho got converted to a left winger. He's a natural number 10. Kevin De Bruyne a natural number 10. Bruno Fernandes is a natural number 10.
Yeah, Kevin and
De Paul,
Bruno. Yeah, from Coutinho, we don't know who he is anymore.
No, but he was a natural number 10. He's a natural.
What?
I'm saying natural number 10s.
But we talk about today's game, though.
Guys, so let me just step in quickly. We're talking about Firmino because I'm strongly Firmino's not sold, 100%. Now that Genie's gone, apart from Milner and Hendo, is Firmino not our most flexible player? Because what I'm thinking is you need players in your squad that can also do jobs that you didn't even think they could do, but there's an emergency and they need to fill in. And I think Firmino is probably the one who's more capable than most in our team of being able to do that. I'm even thinking about number 8, box to box. Number 10, he's done the false 9. He's not great out wide, but if you actually really was like in dire need, he is very flexible. You also need people in your squad that can do that. That's the whole point of your value if you're flexible in a Klopp system. I feel even for that reason, Firmino is very valuable, and it's a bit harsh to be like, if he's not playing up front, sell him. What about all the other positions he can fill in our team?
Yeah.
Yeah, but does he fill it up to a great standard?
I think he does. I think he's very adequate at loads of other positions. I honestly do. I honestly do. I think Firmino goes in the Robin and Ribéry bracket. He retires at Liverpool and has different roles as he gets older. You don't just get rid of him. That's for me anyway. That's just my opinion.
Well, Carl's Neto Army, we're going to let you go because we're going to bring on the last caller. I'll be honest, that last one hit me out of nowhere, bro. It was an RKO.
I didn't mean to, man. Listen. We can still live by this, Cal, quickly. If Pedro Neto was not injured, he won Player of the Tournament in the Euros, man. Come on.
I'll be honest with you. Even though Neto's injured, I'd still bring him to Liverpool.
If he would have had a great Euros if he wasn't injured, 100%. He would have had a great.
I think if Pedro Neto didn't get injured, he would have been in the conversation for one of the for
young player of the season. Definitely.
Young player of the season, you'd have won that.
Yeah, but then of course, I don't think he would have won that. Still, English bias would have gone to Foden still.
Yeah, but his numbers before he got injured was stupid.
The thing is it fair that he's not included because of the injury? Because you should still grade him on what he did before the injury.
I know, but he missed a big chunk though, unfortunately, isn't it? It's like Jota, isn't it?
He only missed like 2 months, I think.
Oh, wasn't it 3? I thought he missed. Was it 2?
No, I think
he got the injury about 5 or 6 weeks before the end of the season. So I still think he played it. I think he still deserves it. Like, the injury shouldn't take away what he did. He was phenomenal this season.
Yeah, but I'm scared, guys, man. It's a knee injury, so I'm scared that some of his face is gonna go away. But hopefully,
he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Hopefully, he's fine, man. We need that Pedro Neto, man. You see my Avi. I've been crying about it for years, man. We need to get this Belgian in.
If we do get Rafinha though, we ain't getting Neto.
Yeah, it's one of the
Bun Rafinha, man. It's a Neto thing you get him. Bun Rafinha, man. Shout out, man. Loud.
Cal's Neto Army. Always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. We speak on Twitter, man. We speak on Twitter.
Definitely, bro.
We'll catch up.
All right, you take it easy, bro.
Peace. You too, lads. Peace.
All right, we're going to bring in our last caller, but before we do, just going to read out a couple of super chats. So Magic Mastermind says, which duo, Kane and Son, Mbappe and Neymar, or Sancho and Haaland?
Oh, that's got to be Neymar and Mbappe.
I'm going Kane and Son.
I ain't got no issue with that. But I would go Mbappe and Neymar.
Family Guy racist jokes are funny. They are raw as F. They are raw on Family Guy. I think. What's the guy who does it? What's the cartoon? Well, not the cartoon. It's the
Seth.
Seth. Yeah, Seth. He just toes the line and he just goes for it, man.
I know, but that one hit me differently the other day. Like if you see how much he tortured them, bro, and then they were like, "Nah, our last neighbors are worse. They were black." Literally, just being black was worse than being tortured. I was just like, "Raw, fuck it." Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, first and foremost, Jamal, thank you very much for your patience. Hope you're well. You're on mute at the moment, bro. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you guys? Are you guys good too?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good,
man.
bro. We're
Big up,
good.
man.
Yeah, man. I mean, guys, my internet is giving a problem. So if I go in and go out, it's just the internet. But are you hearing
No.
me good? Are you
Yeah,
hearing me
yeah.
fine?
We hear you.
Yeah, man. So I just had two questions. I just want to say, I was, for the Jordan Henderson 10 years anniversary since he's been here, I've been watching a lot of old games in Liverpool, man. And guys, is this one guy who I forget how good he was? And that's Adam Lallana.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Lallana was serious. And I just have to ask the question, if he didn't get injured, what do you guys think was his ceiling?
Ooh.
If he'd have had the robustness of a Suarez or a Salah or one of our great players who was able to stay fit on a regular basis, Adam Lallana would still be in our team now.
Yeah, and the England team.
He was spectacular.
100%. He is
he was
beyond belief.
The only thing Adam Lallana is that he didn't have power in terms of his running and his shooting. There was no power behind him. But you see everything else? Passing, vision.
Bruv, he didn't need power, bruv. He was like a feather, bruv. He floated. He didn't need power, bruv.
Yeah, he was.
That man don't need the power, bro. They just float, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And my next question is...
And this is a perfect way to sum it up. I like this. He was the English Carzola. That's a perfect.
I think they're very different.
No, bruv. Left foot, right foot, silky, not pacey, beautiful passing, very skillful on the ball. I think that's a fair. I would say Carzola's better, but I think that's a very good comparison.
Fair enough. Lallana was brilliant.
Lallana was a baller, man. I loved Lallana, man. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool. Yeah, man. And I watched the thing all you did on Henderson as well last week, and I like how all you pick out one of his best moments, man. So I picked 3 players from our squad that you would say is their best moment. For like an example, I'll say like Salah. For me, Salah's best moment in Liverpool was when he scored in the Champions League against Manchester City, and he did that celebration.
Yeah, the arms
I
out.
mean, yeah, the scenes, man. Yeah, and I was gonna say worst moment and all, but nah, man, I'm gonna stay positive. But if we just choosing worst moment, the worst moment for Salah was, I don't know if you guys could remember, but I think it was Manchester United when all the players was dropping like flies, and I think Mata did now get a hamstring injury, and I think Liverpool was on a counter, and Salah couldn't even beat a 35-year-old Mata who had a hamstring injury, man. Can you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried to wipe that from the memory.
Bro. Yeah, bro, my brother had my little brother.
On us for that game, bro. I'm never gonna lie. The juju was on us for that game.
Always like that Old Trafford apart from this season, isn't it?
Yeah, at least we fucked that hoodoo. Why do you think Salah fell to the ground with such relief?
Yeah, he broke the curse.
Now,
yeah, guys, I wouldn't lie. My little brother had a Mo Salah jersey. After he didn't beat a 35-year-old Juan Mata with a hamstring injury, I hide it from him still. I had it for about a good 3 weeks from him. Man. I couldn't see that now. I couldn't see Salah for 2 weeks. Yeah. But yeah, man. My next question is so Salah best moment for you guys, Fabinho, and let's throw in Firmino. After all that heat, let's throw in Firmino. So yeah, those 3 best moments for you guys.
So Firmino, Flacco, and Mo, yeah?
Yeah, three best moments, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Jiff, do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go to.
All right, so for Salah, 3 best moments are first one, the goal he scored against.
No, one for each player.
Oh, 1 for each.
Yeah, one for each player.
Just their most standout moment, then, right?
All right, so for Salah, I'm gonna go for a different one than you, Jamal. I'm gonna go the first goal he scored against Roma in the 5-2 at home.
Oh yeah, that was fire.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go left field, and I'm gonna put sentiment and redemption into it because I like to do that.
The penalty.
I'm gonna say the penalty against Tottenham in the Champions League final.
I was thinking that one as well.
That moment for me was his redemption story. I've never been so happy for someone in my life. At that moment, he got to score in the final that he was robbed of by that pussy the prior year. For me, that was Salah's best moment in the Liverpool shirt. And it isn't on the grander scheme of everything, but for what that meant, that was the moment for me. That was Salah's moment.
For Firmino, I got a few still.
I know what mine is, but it's because of the celebration.
For me, shall I tell you what it was? Firmino's one for me was in his first season, he scored the second of 2 goals he scored against Arsenal in a 3-3 draw at Anfield.
Yeah.
Where he took the ball on the edge of the box, sort of span, and then curled it top corner. And he ran to the crowd and just pointed his ear as if to say, "Yeah, I've arrived under this manager now. You guys are gonna know about me." That was the one.
Yeah.
No, for me, Firmino's got to be taken out by some idiots prior. Didn't even think he was going to make the game with an eye injury.
Oh, PSG!
Comes off the bench again.
Yeah.
The goal was beautiful as well.
I think that's it.
The goal was beautiful as well. And then the celebration as if to say, one eye. I don't even need both. I just do this with one eye.
You might be right.
That whole moment there for Firmino.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Or
that's it.
The assist for Henderson. With the celebration. Yeah.
That was my moment.
Looking up in the sky.
That was my moment. I'm not even gonna laugh. But then what about when he scored the winning goal in the World Club Championship though?
Oh yeah, and the assist for Mo against Newcastle.
Bro. You know what?
Guys, I knew
so many moments.
How can you not love Firmino as a Liverpool fan? I don't get it.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
And guys, I knew we lost that game, but did you remember his assist this season against Leicester?
The 360.
Did you guys remember?
Oh my
God.
Hold on a minute. Do you know what I think has always gone under the radar with Firmino? And I think it's actually a piss take we don't talk about every day. He backheeled it to Mo, away at, I want to say West Ham.
Southampton.
The
1-2 they played.
How difficult that skip. Let me say what he lob, through ball, backheeled it over a stretched out tackle and got the assist, to Mo. Do you know how hard that is? Like, Henry spent 10 minutes talking about it on Monday Night Football. Do you not listen? Firmino, listen. And people want to get rid of him. Come on, man. Remember the backheel assist to against Newcastle for Salah? Yeah. What are we talking about here, man? Come on.
What
are we talking about? The amount of nutmegs. When I was watching that compilation, I was like, raw. I don't get why people don't like this guy. I don't want him as a striker.
Yeah, but as a footballer. Yeah, you gotta have him. For Fabinho, my Fabinho moment is the first goal he scored against Man City, that power driver, and he just went like that. He looks just that right there. I was like,
you know what's mine's, Carl?
Go on.
Yeah, mine's is did you remember when we played Barcelona and that crunching tackle against Suarez?
Yeah.
Bro, you know what? I was actually gonna say I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I like to cheat. I'm going to say Fabinho's best moment is the whole 90 minutes against Barcelona. He got a booking he shouldn't have got in the 7th minute, and then he marshaled their whole team for the remainder. I might as well say for the next 90 minutes because of that 5 minutes of injury time. On a yellow card against Barcelona, Flacco that day was just impeccable. Like, there was just nothing you couldn't tell him nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? He weren't having none of it. So I would say for Flacco, it's that whole 90 minutes against Barcelona on a yellow card. Madness.
Indeed. Great moments there, man.
I'm getting mad nostalgic, bro.
Yeah, same. Jamal, we love those questions, bro.
Yeah.
We love those questions, bro.
And that's quickly. This is not a question for you guys, but I just want to say big up Genie, man. Because I feel he get disrespected, and I just have to say that how I was watching that video of Liverpool thing yesterday. This guy did a lot for our history, man. Because people sleep on that Middlesbrough goal. Because I remember before he scored, we was looking scared. Yeah, we wasn't looking good, man. And when he scored that, I don't know if you guys could see the relief when he scored that goal, man. So
yeah,
I wouldn't lie, man.
I remember, bro.
I love Genie, man.
Yeah.
Genie,
Nothing
like,
like good
it's still
things.
hurt,
Yeah, man. And it hurts, man. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
Mm.
It hurts, man.
So yeah,
I've got
man, that's
like
it.
a bereavement and just-
Yeah, that's it, guys.
Bless you, bro. Much appreciated. Thanks for your patience as well, man.
bro.
No problem, guys. No problem.
All right, take
Peace.
it easy, bro.
There you go. Nah,
Right,
man.
people. Got some
So, man,
fantastic calls tonight. Really enjoyed tonight's show. We always enjoy this show, but yeah, it's just special having you guys call in and support, man.
And obviously we ran a little bit over and appreciate those who stuck with us because I know the opening ceremony is happening as well. So big up everybody stuck with us as well.
Indeed. So guys, we're going to be back on Monday, daily news show in the morning / early afternoon, and then Monday night live in the evening. Obviously, if anything breaks over the weekend, then be sure to see us. We have got a special show. Well, we've got a few special shows planned for you guys, to be honest, but we'll be releasing those details in the coming days and coming weeks. So make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Also, make sure to join us as a member if you want behind the scenes access and exclusive videos. And also check out our merch store. As we've both said, tonight is the last night where you can get the Basement Settings limited edition t-shirt. Until tonight, you can get it. Tomorrow morning, you will not be able to get it. It is limited edition, and we'll have a limited edition one next week coming out.
And you don't want to be left feeling like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like how I felt when I didn't get hold of that 17-18 Liverpool shirt. I'm still kicking myself. I never got that shirt.
Yeah.
I hate that I never got that shirt. You know what I mean? You don't want to get left out like that. So.
No, much love to everyone who called in. Much love to everyone who supports us on a daily, weekly basis. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's extremely humbling, and we are extremely grateful that you guys support us. Shout out to Demo Dre. Hashtag give Harry Potter a chance. Before you guys sign off, please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until next time, people, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kop-Ish and we're out. Thank you so much, people.
Peace.